Hello, this is Chauncey Rosenberg, and I'm just so sick of Florida Blood Bowl. I don't know exactly where to begin, and I'm glad that I'm calling you from a California number that you'll never be able to find me on. But I don't even know where to begin with you guys. You're a bunch of assholes. You show up with your proxies and your dragon penis porn and your goblins, and you know it's true. You know it's true, and every tournament you guys go to, you're half drunk, half naked, and half of you haven't showered in a week. Everything you guys touch smells, and then when there's painting competitions, Florida Blood Bowl, you guys all band together and vote for each other. Have you no honor? So I just wanted to call and tell you guys that. Pretty much it. So thanks, Florida Blood Bowl. Thanks for ruining, Blood Bowl and not making it great again. And I hope that the NAF burns. And I hope that, that when the NAF dies, it's Florida's fault. And so, yeah, sure, you guys might have like the most tournaments and the most participants and, but the way that you guys claim to have fun is just like, a 90s kid that rides the short bus. That's what you guys are, Florida Blood Bowl. I hope you guys don't forget that. You guys are the short bus from the 90s, with your stupid little anti-skip disc Walkman, huh? And your dumb puffy skater shoes. And you guys think you're so cool, but I want you guys to know that the rest of the Blood Bowl community is laughing at all of you guys, okay? All right. Well, I hope you guys eat shit and die. This is Chauncey Rosenberg calling from California. I'm out.
Hey, folks. Welcome to the Florida Blood Bowl call-in show. And that was a voicemail we received this week. Mad props, James. You've built a wonderful community of 90s kids with your puffy skater shoes.
I like the short bus. I don't know what's so bad about it. It's it's a good time.
And I'll tell you what, that whole reference to the anti-skip Walkman, like I felt that like in my soul, like that was me.
There were some very specific burns in that voicemail. That's I'll tell you what, though, that's a great way to start the show. Getting some love from our one fan.
I'm going to open up that phone line, 813-618-7099. This is the Florida Blood Bowl podcast, live call-in show. So far, about once a month, we've been doing this. I'm Carlos, with me, Big Benny K, and James Luft, a.k.a. Beer Jones. Waiting for other people to pop into the show. Got a few folks that have the link as well that can pop in at any time. And other than that, we're just going to take your phone calls and talk Blood Bowl. Big Benny K, it's all you.
Absolutely. So, we got some interesting stuff coming up. The beginning of the year. I know that there is the new tournament book out that GW put out. I know that's that was kind of stirring the pot a little bit, but people were a little bit curious as to what that was what was up with that. And I know, James, you had a chance to read through that, and you plan on using that a little bit in the near future. And I thought maybe if you wanted to give us a little lowdown about maybe put some people's fears at ease on that one, see what we come up with.
Did we lose him?
We might have lost him. I think the biggest thing I saw just to start, a little bit of lag.
Oh, yeah. Could you hear me?
Oh, we got you now.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. I don't know. Some hop, skips, and jumps there. Maybe.
No anti-skip, I guess.
No, the buffering on the anti-skip for this one's not working.
Let me turn off my cam and see if it makes a difference. Could you hear me better now?
The aesthetics got better with the camera off.
Hey, there we go.
We may have a few more viewers now, so.
Yeah, less vomiting.
Hey, whatever I have to do to help out the show. Could you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, the book. A lot of people got their panties in a bunch honestly, there's nothing to worry about there. It's most of what we're already doing with the NAF. I look at this book as though if you don't know about the NAF, and believe me when I tell you, there's still a lot of coaches out there who are getting in the Blood Bowl who do not know about the NAF. As many of us have been, trying to recruit new coaches into it and let them know what it's all about. So if you don't know who or what the NAF is and what they stand for and what they do, what they represent and what they've done over the past however many years, this is the perfect book for you because you'd be able to pick it up and go, oh, I want to run a tournament. This is how I could do it. The GW events that we're going to have coming up in 2023 for the US Open, which is going to be in Kansas City, Tacoma, Washington, and Tampa, Florida. We're going to be using much of what's in that book. And the only big difference between how the NAF runs things and how the match playbook is in regards to a point buy system and how they manage their star players. So when we release the rule sets, there'll be a lot of questions. We'll answer them, but I can honestly tell you it's not going to be much different than the way we've been running NAF tournaments in the past.
I saw a couple of inducements that are in there. Do you think those are going to make this are they going to make it in? And
yeah, well, GW wants to use what's published in the book, so I can see them totally being in there, and they look like fun. We are going to be running a sevens event for an icebreaker on the Friday nights before those big tournaments. And I can tell you that we're not going to be using desperate measures though.
So much hate for desperate measures. So much hate.
Yeah. Well, we tried it in Kansas City and it didn't go over very well. There were people who came out and were like, hey, are you running desperate measures? I'm like, yeah. Like, well, I'm not playing then. Like, wow, that's okay. That's a pretty strong reaction, but they weren't wrong. By the time the coaches who were willing to give it a try were like, yeah, whatever. If it's in the rules, I'll play it. By the time they were done with their rounds, they were like, yeah, I don't ever want to play with that again.
Sevens is already such a tight system.
Some of the things are just a little broken.
Yeah.
And others have said it. So we tried it. And I don't feel the need to want to run with that for sevens. If it's just a social, I don't really need to make anybody angry with somebody else over their gutter runner getting 2 activations and scoring a 1-turn touchdown coast to coast. That's okay.
Yeah, there's some pretty broken ones in there. I know we talked about that last time, and some people had some pretty strong opinions. So
somebody's commenting on the Facebook right now. Broken. That's what they're saying on the Facebook.
I'm not an advocate for it. I just think that sevens probably needs a few more inducements if they're gonna if you want to try to run a sevens league, which I don't really see a whole lot of people running sevens leagues. So I don't know. Maybe it's fine the way it is, right? But
I got a couple people looking for the link to this. Let me share the love here and spread that around. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll go through some of the comments here. Dusdorf in the comments saying hello from North Carolina. Dusdorf, thanks for joining back in. Coming in from Florida, Zach saying hello from Florida.
So we've got, I think Don Morgan's going to be on in a little bit, but before we get started, to kind of give some context to some of the calls that maybe come in today, there's a couple of things that have been on my mind. And with things like Chaos Cup coming up, World Cup coming up, and even this Safari Bowl that we've got coming up in the next month, that kind of brings me to think about gifts. And I'm going to write an article about this for the zine as well, but I want to get some of y'all's opinions today. So if you guys are calling in about different topics, one of the topics I'd like to hear about is, people giving each other gifts at tournaments. And that kind of happens sometimes when people travel. Florida has done it before. I remember when we went to when we went and did our RV trip to Oklahoma, we ended up bringing a bunch of stickers and patches and stuff with us and gave those to our opponents. When we went up to Chaos Cup the last couple of times we went to Chicago, we brought sets of dice, and we brought, I think you guys, the last time you all went up there with shot glasses and some stuff like that. So I know there's a tradition of that, and those who went to the World Cup last year, I remember people posting all sorts of pictures of, dice and gifts and weird little trinkets and stuff that people get. And I was just kind of curious about your opinions on that as viewers, some of the people that are in our community and what kind of stuff you guys have gotten and given and all that kind of fun stuff. I've got an idea for something I want to put together, but I think I'd just like to see what kind of opinions everybody has on that and what kind of cool stuff you've gotten. So
I know for me, being introduced into Blood Bowl in 2019. I remember Old Man Monkey himself gave me a Chaos Cup patch from 2019, and that was pretty cool to see because the way if you've seen a Chaos Cup actual patch, you know it's just well done. The trophy's on there, the Chaos Cup trophy. It just looks gorgeous. It really drew me in. The patch. I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. That was a great gift for someone who's learning the game, introduced to the game, being taught the game, and I walked away with something really sweet. And a phone call. Let's see what this is. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Walter, calling from Tampa.
Hey, Bobby. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
We are well. I got James Luft and Big Benny K on the phone here with us.
Hey, James. Hey, Ben.
Hey.
So I've got two
What's up,
topics.
buddy? How you doing tonight?
One, I'm doing good. Taking a break from Ubering to listen to the show. So, one, recently been on a painting kick. I have to thank Adam for that because he finally gave me the minis that he won for Pat's raffle for me to paint, and that got me painting again. So I painted his. I painted the Jim and Bob minis that you had printed for me. Painted the giant for the King in Yellow for the tournament on the 28th. Finally got my Blacklist Fantasy Series 1 minis, which I've been waiting like 2.5, 3 years for. So painted the dragon out of that box. And then I painted the Puma Necro team that I won at TKC last year. So finally kind of got myself back into painting.
Takes some motivation to get into painting.
Yeah, once I started, I remembered how much I actually enjoyed it and started doing it again. There was just a while where I had no time or energy to do it.
I feel the opposite. I feel like if I stay away from it long enough, I forget how much I hate it, and then I start thinking, oh, I just want to get to painting again. And then I start painting again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really hate this. I'm done.
See, where I enjoyed painting, I just didn't have the time or energy for it. Once I start doing it again, I'm like, I forgot, I actually enjoy doing this. It's just finding the time to do it. The other thing I wanted to...
Oh, I was just going to say, I can get excited for small projects. Maybe right now I have I'm actually sitting in front of my paints right now. I got 2 Dungeon Bowl people that I wanted to add to my Life College that have been sitting on this desk for about a month now. So, and that's about like where I'm at in my life. I'm like, maybe I'll paint those. I'll finally add those to my collection, but I don't know.
And Ben, to your question about giving gifts, I like the idea of if you're going out of state to bring gifts to give to the other people who are hosting the event. I like that idea. So,
It's fun.
I think it would be cool to. I think it would be cool to take some Florida Blood Bowl swag to give out at Savannah Bowl.
Definitely.
The other thing is, I'm currently in the league at Armada, and there's one thing that's got me kind of upset, and everyone else, like no one else in the league seemed to be bugged about it, but the league was supposed to be 6 games, played tournament style with a playoff. But after we played our week 1, we already played our week 1 game, and it got changed to 5 games with no playoff after we had already been told it would be 6 weeks with a playoff. It just seems to me, I'm probably the least try-hard people in Florida Blood Bowl, but, there's a big difference between losing your first game when there's 6 games in a playoff versus losing your first game when it's just best out of 5 games. And I'm just, I was kind of annoyed that this was done after the league had already started, but I guess no one else seems to mind it, so just kind of wanted to get people's opinions on that.
You're poking the bear is what you're doing. Michael's like,
And that's I guess what's got me curious is what prompted it, right? What were things that happened? What scheduling issues came up? Lack of player base or quantity of players. Something prompted that change because it's not something. I'm sure it's not something that anybody wants to do last minute.
It kind of reminds me of we had Stunty Slam last year. It was supposed to be, I don't remember how many rounds it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be long. It was going to be like 5 rounds or something. And we got a couple of rounds in and we were like, everybody, I don't remember how many people were there. It was probably like 10 or 12 or something. It's like, we're going to cut it down around. And I wasn't super happy about that because I was like, I'm going to Iron Man this thing in 5 rounds. And, but yeah, I get it. At the end of the day, I'd rather be playing Blood Bowl than, with a couple less rounds than not being able to play. And especially when it comes to a league, I think it gets tough. And I think, just going through our league right now that the one I was in Ocala, it's kind of stalled, kind of because of me, because I've been missing some opportunities to play with people. Sometimes less is more, keep that momentum flowing, start a new season or something.
It's been a hot minute since we've had a league at Armada. It's been, we usually break for the holidays. So this could be that primer to get into that next league. Hey, let's just do 5 quick weeks, build a community, and then go bigger. I'm hoping that's what we're dealing with here. Because this next, I wasn't able to sign up. This next month that's coming up between work and it's like I couldn't do it. So to hear that it's being shortened to 5 weeks makes me hopeful that come middle of February, end of February, okay, now I can sign up.
I hope they do the lineman thing again eventually. That looked really fun. But I'm not going to be able to make it down to Tampa to play anytime in the near future, but to play regular league, but it looked really cool. And I think that was something about Armada that
what I'm hoping is with the next league that starts in March is supposed to be a regular league. Everyone starts off with new teams. What I'd really like to see is for that league for more. I know Jack was saying the same thing, is we kind of want a consistency of, a league that has a short break, goes into another league, so we can really get a team rolling if we want to play a team more than one season, which has been kind of hard to do. Like, if we're going to do a regular league, we'd kind of like to see that regular league run for a couple seasons in a row, so that way if we want to play a team and do the whole building your characters up, we get a chance to.
Yeah, that's good feedback, and hopefully Armada's watching.
So that's the only
sounds like you had a tough first match.
Yeah, I played Jack's humans with my vampires. The funny thing was we played a practice game the week before, and we both seem to have learned from that practice game, because of that practice game, he beat me 3-0.
And then you got paired up with him after the practice game?
Yeah.
That's horrible. That sucks.
Game, I got paired up with him first round. But the practice game, he beat me 3-0 because his ogre was just beating down my thralls. With Mighty Blow +1, it's not hard to break 8 armor. So I learned that I need to take out his ogre as quickly as I can. So first round, I basically set up to hypnogaze his ogre and use Wilhelm to break his armor on an 8. I ended up getting his ogre knocked down, and I used my dirty player to foul him. And I had him removed from the pitch like round 3 of the first round.
Beautiful.
Which made a huge difference because it kept my thralls alive. But Jack learned to keep all my vampires tied up so I couldn't break his cage with hypnotic gaze. And he had, I'm slipping on the name. What's the star player that you absolutely hate?
Oh, Griff.
Griff. He was using Griff, and I just could not. I tried to hold him up as much as I'm possible, but once Griff breaks loose, there's just nothing to do to stop it. And Griff it was a close game. He beat me 2-1, but I couldn't hold Griff back. I tried and tried, but Jack played a really well game. Like I said, he kept my vampires tied up so I couldn't get into his cage with Hypnotic Gaze. So we both learned from our practice game. It was a good game. It was a close game.
Are you guys rostering
So
stars?
hoping,
Is that part of it?
yeah, because we were doing it like a tournament style. So it was basically a 1.2 million build, 48 SPP. You could take 1-star player after you had 11 players.
Do you run all the
So, and
vampires?
no, I only ran 4. I ran 4 vampires, 2 with block, 2 with pro, and then I gave 2 of my thralls strip mall. 1 got kick and 1 got dirty player. I've learned it's never a good idea to run all 6 vampires.
Yeah, there's too much savagery going on there.
4 seems to be a good number for him. And I took Wilhelm because, well, unless I wanted to take a chainsaw, Wilhelm's really the only choice for Sylvian Spotlight.
And then having the claws there really helps to just cut through armor.
So it was a close game. It was a good game. It was a fun game. I'm looking forward to my week 2 game coming up. I know who my opponent is, but I don't know what he's playing. So,
All right.
and I'm looking forward to the Giant tournament coming up on the 28th.
I wish you the best of luck, buddy.
So have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Bye.
Here, let me run through some of these comments before the next call comes in. Got folks active in the chats, so let's
Nice.
give them a shout out here. Let's see, coming in, we got another call coming in. Beans and Dice
That's
podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Florida man. I'm calling from Lakeland.
Nelson.
Yeah, the regular crew showing up. Hey guys, how are you?
We are
Speaking
well.
of Lakeland, we're going to be doing a demo. Are you going to come out tomorrow, Chris?
I am actually.
Nice. It's going to FLGS called Intergalactic Plastic. So they have a lot of collectibles there, but they want to start getting into Blood Bowl. So after talking with the owner, Rob Hudson, we just kind of settled on a date of tomorrow. And I know there's a few people who are going to be coming out to the stores. So all the more experienced Blood Bowl coaches to lend a hand, bring in some new coaches. It should be a good day.
Yeah, I stopped into the store today and introduced myself to him. Super nice
Nice.
guy. I actually bought an action figure to take apart so I could use it for my Giant on the 28th. And I'm already priming
Awesome.
up the pieces, so I'll attach it and you'll see the masterpiece when it's ready.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah. I was calling because you guys were talking about gifts, and just a shameless plug for Eurobowl. Everybody there brought gifts, and one of the best things I've ever seen was Team Ireland's gift, which is a pearl marker made by Charlie Victor, and it is just gorgeous. Metal, magnetic, in I think it's 3-leaf clover, and each one counts as a reroll, so you kind of pluck the clover as you go. And not only did the guys give each of us one, for every game we played, they gave everybody they played one. But they actually gave one to me to give to Eric Nyberger because I mentioned that I had a friend who was looking for swag, and they handed me another one to give to him. So they were just the coolest guys, best gift I've received. There was a lot of good gifts there. Team Finland gave out reindeer antlers with as turn markers.
Okay, that's pretty dope.
That is cool.
There was something else you guys were discussing as well, and I can't remember now. I'm sorry.
That's all right. A lot of generosity at your
Yeah.
will from what I've heard, and World Cup.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. I know you got a lot of calls that are going to be coming in. I'm playing Orcs next week at the Giant Bowl. I think it's going to be good. And so I'm done with my year of goblins after 2 tournaments, and I'll go back to
I was a fast
regular
year.
I saw you did pretty good with them, though. I mean,
Everybody
Cool.
breaks their resolutions real quick.
What is that? An Alaskan leap year
Yeah,
or something like that?
Oh man, I'm telling you. I played Goblins in the first tournament and the second tournament. They were just fun, basically identical rosters. I'm really liking them. So anytime they're viable, I think I'm going to bring them.
I think the Giant thing's going to be weird just to see, because the Giants, free, so it's added to everybody's team. It'll be interesting. And I guess there's also, you can't knock it out or stun. You can only stun it, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's in for the duration.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting too, because I was thinking maybe like someone just grab some bombs. I think bombs are going to be the easiest thing to use to deal with the Giants and just toss them near their feet or something. But
Look at my roster, Ben.
It's just the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, I don't know how to knock these things down very easily, but I haven't picked what I'm going to play yet. I don't know. We'll see.
Ben's been hacking my computer, looking at my rosters. Everybody, this guy, seriously,
Get out of his head.
I'll allow it.
It's a good strategy, and the addition of the Giants will be fun. The tournament is, I'm already considering it a wash. No offense, Anthony. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun, and that's the main thing. It's just the addition of a Giant to every single team kind of wrecks the meta irrevocably. So we'll see. We're just gonna have some fun. That's what Blood Bowl's about. In other news, the team is finally together. We put together a contender for Safari Bowl. We went over our teams. I'm not going to share those because I know that Nick Blackie's listening. But we're coming for it. Me, Brad Fritz, John Alberto, and Matt Cole. We're all going to be coming up to Safari Bowl and playing to win. We got some good teams, some good rosters we already built, and it's going to be fun.
Awesome. I'm glad there's going to be a competitive streak there, because there were a bunch of teams all going for the Challenger Award, which is kind of like, you spend the bare minimum to build your team and compete for that cup. So it's like two paths to glory.
I tried to convince my team to go for Challenger, but
they weren't having it, huh?
They weren't having it. So
Try hards.
My question for Ben is, since Skaven is kind of the team you play a lot, Lackey is going to be playing Skaven. So what are you going to be playing?
I don't know. I should keep it a mystery, I guess, huh? We had some serious discussions about it. I went on back and forth, and there are some teams in tier, the bottom, not the bottom tier, but the second to bottom, that were kind of interesting. But we shuffled things around a little bit and ended up in some pretty weird places. So we'll see what we end up with.
I have a feeling off the top of my head that our teams probably look very similar. I mean, we'll see when we get there, but I have this feeling that it's going to be almost a mirror match if we meet. So,
Well, I think everybody's going to take Skaven at some point. At least they should. One player on every team should probably take Skaven, just being so versatile and at that tier level. There were some hidden gems in there. I think the Challenger teams are going to have some interesting times with things like Nurgle and vampires and Slan being all kind of in those bottom tiers. I think some of those could be taken advantage of very easily.
And even with Horn, there's some opportunity depending on how you build the rest of the roster to take Hackflam. So there's some interesting rosters for sure. But that's all I had. So thanks for having me, guys. I hope you have a good night. James, you bring me a base for my Giant tomorrow? I know you got them.
Yeah, they're in my car.
Is it like a CD for your Walkman?
What is
it?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Chris Fry just
that brought back memory. That brought back memory for me too, Carlos. Because I used to have a non-skip.
I used to
Walkman.
love that buffer button. You gotta kind of wait for it to load up, and I would shake the crap out of it. Like, watch this. Still
and of course,
playing.
you have to turn super bass mode on.
Yeah. Blow out your little Walkman headphones. All right, Nelson, we appreciate you calling, man. It's a call-in show. You made it happen.
See you next week.
Bye.
Zip.
See you tomorrow, buddy.
All right. That was one of the comments that was actually coming up next. Was going to be about the Lakeland demo. So that was the next comment I was going to bring up. So he brought it up. That's great.
We're bringing up some locals from Melbourne, Nick Cassavant from BGL, and we have 2 new coaches that are going to be coming up to kind of learn and play, get some practice matches in for Safari Bowl. So I think between the Lakeland crew, some of our Florida Blood Bowl coaches, and us coming up, I think we'll have a good turnout tomorrow.
Sija, how do you pronounce that? English is not my first language.
Sija Miniatures.
There we go.
Sam Soto.
It says hello and vote for James. We got a call on the line. Hello, caller. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Donald Morgan calling from Gaines, Vegas.
Nice.
What's up, Don?
Oh, not much, James. How's it going? Hope the vote's going well.
Yeah, that's
Darren,
twice.
Carlos, how's it going?
Things are well.
That's twice people mentioned the vote. For those who don't know, the NAF tournament director election is going on right now, and I'm one of 4 people that are running for the position. So as I said before, a lot of people in the community know who I am. Take a moment, go to the NAF page, log in, look at the forums, look at the Q&A, and vote for who you think the best person who's going to fill that position will be. I hopefully you all think it's me, but I want to see just the best person win. So
Exactly.
But I thank you for your votes.
We'll take them. Vote early, vote
Always,
often,
always.
vote dead. Just vote.
There we go. So, I imagine a lot of y'all have heard about our Blood Bowl cruise for 2024.
This is going to be awesome. I'm so excited for this.
Yes. It's going to be great. We're actually going to be going out from Port Canaveral on Carnival Cruise Lines. It's going to be a 5-day cruise going to Grand Turk and Bimini, the Bahamas. So it's going to be some great beaches, good water, lots of fun. And we're going to do something a little different for the actual tournament. It's going to be a 7s format, and it's going to be kind of a cross between tournament play and league play, where your players can actually gain star player points from each match. There's going to be 9 rounds. This is over 5 days, so lots of Blood Bowl. And it is resurrection style, so you can't lose players, but your players can lose their skills or not gain skill points from that match if they are injured. So it's going to add some interesting things, I think. Kind of a mix between that. No star players, being 7s, no desperate measures.
You're making friends now.
Exactly. That's just a little bit too wild, too game changing. So, everybody's going to start with $700K to build their normal 7s roster. Pretty much everything applies as what's in the normal 7s rules in Death Zone. Like I said, just no desperate measures, but everything else is pretty much it. And then, we'll keep track of what happens in each match. And, your players will get star player points for the normal thing. Now, here's a little difference, and it'll be kind of interesting to see how people approach this. You will not get star player points for fouls and things like that, casualties due to fouls or crowd surfs and whatnot, but you do get tournament points for those. So it'd be interesting to see how people go about that. See what tack they go with, but we got pretty good interest so far, and we've got actually 18 rooms booked as of 2 days ago. We have a very great travel agent. Her name is Chrislyn Vollenweider. Her husband, Mike, who is probably listening to the show right now. Hey, Mike. They live in Louisiana, and they're going to be joining us on the cruise. Mike is a Blood Bowl player. So they'll be joining us and be having a lot of fun. And we've got people from all over the country interested, and we actually have some international players interested. So it's going to be interesting to see how many we actually get. We have a cap of 64 coaches. That's just for space considerations for this first go round, and then we'll see how things go and see what we can improve upon or what we have to change, and it's just going to be a big experience.
I think it's
So
going to
anybody
go
got any
very well.
questions that I can answer for the tournament, for the cruise?
Well, I think the big thing that most people are probably thinking of is like, well, geez, how could I afford a Blood Bowl cruise? Is there any details that you can, let people know about in regards to how much it's going to cost?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because it kind of depends on what you want to go with room wise. You have options. They have basically 4 choices on this ship, everywhere from standard with no ocean view to balcony to suites. Most standard rooms can fit up to 4 people. And the beds are all the same size, so it doesn't have to be just, it could be 4 coaches sharing a room, or it could be a family of 4 sharing a room. And then the suites, I think they can get up to 5 people. They get a little bit more pricey, but Chrislyn, she will have you fill out a form, and then she will give you a quote for your best price, depending upon your information. And that's going to be based on different things, like if you've cruised with Carnival before, you may have special offers that you're good for versus somebody who's never cruised with them before. Or it might be, if you're a senior or if you're active duty military, different things like that. There's different things that can give you some different discounts here and there. And then there is a bit of a discount as far as when you get to more than 2 people in a room, it does cheapen it a little bit. So say if 4 coaches shared a room, it would be a little cheaper versus 2 and 2 in, separate rooms. So I just don't know the actual breakdown of particulars on that. I could give you a kind of an estimated price for
No,
a
I just wanted
base
to
single
kinda
person.
give people
But-
just an idea of
Go
like
ahead.
what the options are. And because we're doing this
Yeah.
like as a Florida Blood Bowl like group rate, there's a little bit of a break in the price as well.
It's a little different with Carnival. It's not so much a break in price. It will be whatever their current offers are going or what you qualify for. That can depend on the timing of when you book, but we do get perks. And for different amounts of people that we have, not counting just the coaches, but all family members or friends that are going with us affect that. They have what they call fun points that we get to spend as a group on different things. One very cool thing is like basically, I don't know if it'd be an evening or an afternoon in one of their lounges and have our own little cocktail party.
Oh wow!
Which, yeah. So there's different things like that, and there's options that we have with those, and so that's something that we'll kind of go over once we have more of an idea of how many people we actually have. So,
Well, they have 18 rooms booked
Which-
already, and this just went live January, right? This month.
It's a whole year away, isn't it? Yeah.
it went live kind of around Thanksgiving, but that was like where it all just started. And we thought that actually this weekend was going to kind of end of our ability to hold rooms, outright, because we have a certain amount of rooms held right now, based on preliminary numbers of preliminary interest. But they actually extended that. Chrislyn just let me know this 2 days ago, and I just put a post out on the website today that they extended it into March. So right now through, I want to say it's like the 3rd week of March. I'll have to double check. But that is, people can still book and get their deposit in. All you have to do is pay your deposit right now, or if you want to prepay your, what was I going to say? You can pay for travel insurance, which is like $50 a person, which some people do, some people don't. That just happens to save you money and stuff in case something happens that you cannot go on the trip or something happens on the trip. And then you can also prepay gratuity.
So
But other than that, you don't have to pay anything.
The Facebook post talks about $410 a person for double occupancy, and I'm sure that's one of the lower level packages. But is that right? So 2 people staying in a room, looking at about $410 plus fees and stuff.
So that's each. That's
Right. Each.
So
that's what I'm saying. That $410.
It's probably a little more than that. It's probably about $5.
About $500.
It's probably around $5. That's counting if you want to do the travel insurance and
that's 5 days.
Yeah. 5 days.
And they
all
feed
the
you,
food
don't
can
they?
eat.
They feed you.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They feed you. Yeah. Unless you go to
I
some
can't
of the
eat for
specialty
that.
restaurants. Hotels that we go to for conventions, a lot of those are minimum $100.
Right. I'm dropping
Some of those are more
$500
than
for
that.
the hotel just to go do a tournament in Melbourne. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, it's like basically kind of 6 days, because we leave on the 3rd. So we'll have the night of the 3rd through the night of the 7th, and then we come back to port on the 8th. So it's kind of like it's spread over 6 days, but they call it 5. It's 5 nights, but it's great.
5 days of eating.
Taken
is what
2
I see.
different cruises. Oh yeah, right.
See, my worry is, I got in this country once. I don't know if I leave if they'll let me back in.
Well, I do suggest you have your passport handy. You do not have to with where we're going, but you can get your just have your birth certificate and some other documents. Crystalline can handle all of that as to what people really have to have for themselves or for kids or whatnot. Because I do know Ken Parks is bringing his whole family, so the whole Parks regiment will be there. They're already booked, so it's just going to be a blast. There's just so much to do, and even for people that don't play Blood Bowl, and aren't going to hang around to do Blood Bowl, there's so much on a ship that you can do. And we're not doing any Blood Bowl on our port days. When you're at port, you go and do what you want there. If you want to book an excursion, you can do that. If you just want to go to the beach, you can do that. If you just want to walk around and shop, you can do that. So we're not doing anything on that. Most of the playing will be on sea days, and I think there's like the evening of our first port day, we're going to have one game after dinner, and that's it. So
that's a great way to experience a cruise with other like-minded folks.
Yes, it is. And we've done that. The 2 cruises that my family has gone on, we went with friends. So it wasn't just us. And, it was great. And you don't have to do everything together. You can want to do something different. Some of you can go do this, some of you can go do that. I mean, between the shows that they have, comedy, they have, a band and usually a singer, separate that do different things. They have trivia, all kinds of different trivia. I mean, I played Lord of the Rings trivia at this last one, and I think we did Game of Thrones trivia as well. So it was a bunch of fun, but it's a blast. I mean, just a bunch of people hanging out together that love Blood Bowl, having fun, playing a bunch of Blood Bowl, and we're going to do some cool things. We're going to have some giveaways. We'll have some prizes. I think we're going to do first through third place, and then we're going to do, of course, your standard most touchdowns, most casualties, best defense. We're going to have, the coaches are going to vote for the best sportsman. We're also going to have a category because we're going to have a lot of first-time sevens players coming from other places other than Florida Blood Bowl. And we're going to have basically a rookie award for the person who's their first sevens tournament, that finishes the best. And then, of course, we'll have, instead of a wooden spoon, Walter would be happy we're having a wooden oar because it is a 7 seas event. So
or you can give him a life raft.
We are at sea.
I like that.
A little dinghy. There we go. There we go. But
Sounds
yeah,
amazing.
it's going to be a blast. Yeah, it's really, honestly, it's so much to experience on a cruise. And yeah, we're going to be playing a lot of Blood Bowl, but it's really not going to take up that much time being sevens. Everybody's going to have plenty of time to do stuff with their family and friends, or together, or just to chill in their room if that's what they so wish to do. Your food's covered. You can bring every single person can bring one 12-pack of canned sodas with them. You can purchase a soda package that allows you soda all day and juice. They also have alcohol packages for those of us who like to imbibe. Yeah, they do, but it is a limit. It is a limit. There's only 15 per day, and that's over the whole day. But it's pretty good. So.
Won't cut it.
But yeah, it's just gonna be a big blast. It's a good time of year, I think, for it. It won't be super hot. We won't have to worry about storms out in the Atlantic or the Caribbean. So it's going to be pretty good. The only thing, maybe a little bit of rain, but that time of year, I tend to doubt it. So
I just want to say hats off to you, Don, for doing this and organizing it. It's no small feat for those, who think that it's an easy thing. It's not. There's a lot of organization, a lot of communication, there's a lot involved with it. It's not just a easy peasy thing. So my hat's off to you, man.
Oh, thank you. I will have to give credit to J.D. Vertrees, who is the commissioner for the Mabel League in Mobile, Alabama. I was on a cruise, and he said, "Man, that would be cool to do a Blood Bowl cruise." After I just made a post as we were leaving port, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. And we just started talking about it while I was on the cruise, and it just kind of morphed from there. So I will say that I am very glad that Mike Vollenweider suggested that I talk to his wife, because doing the cruise portion of this is very, very particular and time consuming. So she's a pro. So I'm really glad that she agreed to take this on and take that weight off of me, because it was a lot. I mean, I talked to several different cruise lines, and I was pretty certain I wanted to go with Carnival. And I explained to Chrislyn what we wanted to do, what I wanted to try to do, and everything. And she has just helped us from there. So my hat's off to her, because she's been really great dealing with all that aspect of it.
Well, I think it's going to have a great turnout. I mean,
I think so. I think we might reach that 64 coach cap. We're at about right now either 17 or 18 coaches, because there's one person I am not for sure that is signed up with another coach that I don't know if they are themselves a coach or not. So
that's almost
I kind of handled that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're over a quarter of the way, and like I said, it's it's still over a year away. February 3rd through 8th of 2024, and if you when you make your deposit down, you don't have to pay any other money until it's like around November 20th of this year. That's when you have to pay out everything in full. You can make payments in between then if you want. And there's different things you can look once you are booked that you can add, like excursions or the alcohol or soda drink packages. Also, they have the internet packages. They have a couple of different ones of those, so you can actually have internet usage while on the cruise. So
I'll tell you, a buddy of mine got married on a Carnival ship here in the port of Tampa, and I'm not looking to be on a boat. That's not my thing. But it was on the dock, so I went to the wedding. I tell you what, those were the best chicken nuggets I have ever eaten in my life. Those tempura battered nuggets that they had. I literally stood next to that all-you-can-eat tray of tempura battered chicken nuggets and just pounded them the whole celebration, just nugget after nugget after nugget. So if that's any indication of the food that you get, the nuggets.
Oh, it is. And you have your choice on food. You can go to, they have what they call the Lido Deck Marketplace, which is several buffets. They have two sides, and then they have other areas within there. They have a Guy Fieri's Guy's Burger on board. They have a Blue Iguana taco and burrito place.
He's already
there.
got the food
Next to
mapped
Guy's
out. He
Burgers.
knows where he's going. Don
Oh,
knows what
man,
he's doing
dude.
food wise.
Hey, I love to eat. If you ever met me in person, you know I'm a kind of bigger guy. I love to eat. But you can do fancy too. They have the sit down dinners, and those are really nice. They have a different menu every night. It's just, different choices, and it's really good.
Carnival needs to hire you, man. You've been pitching this thing great. So I hope it helps get you some more folks, and it's nice to see that you can focus on the tournament aspect, the setting up the gaming, and then you've got friends that can take care of the organization of the cruise. That's great. What was her name again?
My name's Donald.
No, I'm sorry, her name. Who's helping you out? Give her a shout out.
Name, I'm sorry, Chrislyn Vollenweeder.
Yeah, thanks for the help.
Vollenweeder. Yes, and they live in Louisiana, so I think our Mississippi brethren will start seeing Mike at some of their tournaments, and I'm actually going to have the 5th installment of Cornival, which the cruise is the 6th installment of Cornival, but the 5th one's going to be this August in Mobile, Alabama, and I'll call back for a later show and talk about it when I get it nailed down.
Appreciate your call, Don. Thanks so much for introducing the folks to it and putting this together.
No problem at all. And if anybody has not heard about it and is interested, just look on connect with me via the Florida Blood Bowl group, or James Luft or somebody that can get you in contact with me. We'll get you onto the web page set for the event and the cruise, and then you can get all the information that you need there. I appreciate your time, guys. Y'all have a great evening, great rest of the calls. I'm going to keep listening in as everybody calls in.
Thanks, Don.
Hey, y'all take it easy.
Thanks, Don. Have a good night.
Speaking of, before we get too deep in here, before I forget, speaking of the tournament organization, right? Making sure that we were instructing people on how to get this done, helping them out, right? Getting to that NAF website, right? Getting to that NAF website on the left side, on the NAF HQ. You're going to find your tournament director elections for 2023. And in here, just clicking that link right there, it takes you to the voting for how to submit. So I'm going to demonstrate for y'all how it's done. Right here under that.
I'm getting a vote.
Oh, we're gonna hit it. Placata. Look at that.
You voted for Legione Jamis Luft. I like that guy.
Fragile.
Yeah, he seems very trustworthy by that very foreign name.
All right, so there's that's the setup. Go to the NAF website, log in, left side under the HQ. You got the tournament. Oh, won't let me vote again. I tried.
No, I'm the only one who could vote about 150 times.
He's got bots, Russian bots doing it for him.
I can't afford the Russian bots. They're the Peruvian bots.
The peso is a lot cheaper than the ruble.
Yes.
Let's see here. We back into the comments. We've got Scott Barber. Let's see. A month. A metal teams from the 90s that are bare metal still or primed. So talking about Barry, hadn't painted in a month. Years of not painting coming over here from Scott Barber.
He's got a shame pile, as do we all.
We do. I tried to make a resolution. I wasn't going to buy any more miniatures until I paint the ones I've got. I'm so far good in 2023, but we'll see how long that
19 days in.
Yeah.
TJ Miniature says, I hate building them unless I'm kit bashing. I talked about hating painting. I love assembling. Like, I don't know, something about assembling the models for me is the fun part.
I like assembling.
Yeah,
painting unless it's elves. Screw them elves, bro.
I like to sculpt a little bit, and I like to add some extra stuff to the models and make them a little interesting and make them my own. So, but painting is the part I don't know.
Deuce Dwarf is asking, Benny, are you in Ocala, Florida?
Near Ocala. I'm in Citrus County. So I'm about an hour away from Ocala. So we got a little league out there that I've been kind of lazy with going out to because of the holidays, and then I got sick and some stuff, but I got to make a trip out there. Pretty much our closest game stores are over in Ocala. We don't actually have some in Citrus now, and I have not had a chance to get out to them.
You had a kid. Like,
I know.
like,
I
bro,
know.
I'm on my fourth one. I know how it is. Like, it kind of pulls you away. You have to, tug and pull of all that. So don't beat yourself up, Poppy. All in due time. You'll have plenty of time for it.
What's
In
the
the
name of that
Facebook-
store, Ben? Is that Bearded Brown
Oh, yeah.
Coat?
Bearded Brown Coat's the one that we do, and then we went. There's Warp Fire. I like them as well.
Mhm.
That was where we had that demo a few weeks ago, months ago. I don't even know anymore. The time is abstract to me.
It all bleeds into there.
There's a couple of shops in Citrus, and I think they mostly do MTG and stuff. And I have a couple of my old friends that play. They're always trying to get me to come out, but eventually maybe we can try to start a league at one of those. I don't know.
I've got a Facebook comment here because Barry was talking about Griff. Ben was sharing his hate. Hypnogaze him. Take away his block and his dodge. That's definitely good feedback. I know Barry and I played a practice match a couple weeks ago by Lizards against his vampires, and that Hypnogaze is just my Croxagore being Hypnogazed sucks. We got Voorhees saying aloha. Hello, Voorhees. Thanks for jumping into the comments.
Yeah, he's suffering through some real winter. He just moved up to New Hampshire from Florida a few months ago.
Wicked.
Wild. Why anyone would do something like that to themselves is beyond me. But
Hey, let me just throw something out there really quick. So when we were looking at the image of the cruise of the boat, there was a comment in there from Arthur Rose, and just to give Ben and his wife Veronica a little bit of credit, they actually saw about the cruise from the Florida Blood Bowl zine. So for those who don't know, it's a quarterly zine that Ben and Veronica publish. And, we give them out at tournaments. And honestly, when we post about it, if you just drop a comment and ask for one, like I'm mailing one to, I've sent some over to England. I've sent some to Mexico. I'm sending one to, I don't know, somewhere like across the pond. I forget where. But yeah, this guy found out about the cruise from the zine, which I think is awesome.
Those advertising bucks coming in big, getting paid, right, Ben?
There you go. No, I love the zine, and I want more people to submit some stuff. So, we are going to be putting out the next issue right before or during basically Savannah Bowl, which is at the end of February. So, those first couple of weeks of February, if you have something you can submit, I'm looking for everything. Articles, drawings,
How about fiction? What if somebody had a Blood Bowl erotica story and wanted to submit that?
Yeah. Well, we do ask that it stays kind of family friendly, right? Because the idea is we want this to be accessible for everybody. As much as I love to see.
You'll have to put that in your own, keep it in your own files.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, honestly, if you come up with something, we'd love to see it. I put in some sketches in there last month that, they are not great, but they're something to fill the pages with. I usually come up with some kind of rant about something that I'm thinking about, that no one else wants to listen to. So I stick it in the zine. Last month I was talking about resin versus metal versus plastic and metal, all sorts of stuff like that. So, but I'd like to hear about you. I'd like to hear about your tournament experiences, some of the stuff you're working on, tips and tricks to run tournaments or run events or running a league. Hopefully this thing is helping newer players find games to play. We also have in every issue, we try to record some of the upcoming tournaments and upcoming leagues that are available in Florida. So, hopefully you pick one up and you say, oh, look, they're playing in my hometown or they're playing somewhere only, 30, 40 minutes drive away. I can pop over there and say hi, make some new friends, hopefully.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, Dusdorf in the comments talking about a Death Roller versus Giant. So give us some tips here on how to deal with those giants.
Yeah, giants
are just dwarves.
They're funny. I think they're almost like more of a piece of terrain than anything, They get tied up so easily. For some reason, they're just, I don't know. They always seem like more fun on paper. I've had a few games that I've tried using a giant in. And there's been a couple of tournaments when it seemed like the best thing to do, but it's just so hard to make them actually useful. Anthony's got some cool little bonuses he's giving the Giants. So I think you can choose between one of 3 different like archetypes. One is allows you to throw any teammate one time a game. One allows you to like ground pound and create like the players have to make a save or they fall or something within a certain area. And I can't remember. Oh, the other one's a projectile vomit that has multi-vomit. So you can multiple vomit on 2 different people. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do for archetype. I think it's going to decide what team I play, what I go with on that, So
Joe Hoffman's tournament had some great options for Hooky Bowl with the Macho Man, where we had wrestlers that we were able to apply kind of like an archetype to. We had a fouling wrestler, a high flying wrestler, and then there was a third one, probably with a little bit more, bashy skills. But that was a fun event, a lot of fun.
Oh, we got a phone call coming in. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hello, and welcome, podcast fans. I am Dr. Canadian. And vote for Jim Luft. He likes dinosaurs.
He does like dinosaurs. What's up, Dr. C?
He does. I'm seeing like the T-Rexes are just everywhere on your Facebook page. It's like invading.
They've taken over.
Someone shut the fence off in the rain, and they're just all over the place on your page.
I was just talking about
they
you.
Even invaded the Blood Bowl tournament pages. I see some of the tournament pics. There's the T-Rexes.
I was just talking about you. How's winter treating you?
It's good. Yeah, I heard you at Vermont actually, and it's snowing outside right now. But it's not really. It's a mild winter actually. It's actually we brought the warmth up here. When I first moved down from Connecticut in 2010, I first moved to Lakeland. It was like the coldest winter in like 10 years. We brought the cold down, and now I moved up to north from Florida, and I brought the warmth. So wherever I go, I take the weather with you. But I hear it's chilly down there right now, eh? It's like 30s.
This last week was okay.
Down to
I like that weather though. I pay extra to make sure that it's shipped down here from up north in Canada.
No, I'm camping next weekend. I don't need all that in my life. 50-degree nights is about as much as I can take in that tent.
I miss camping. The last hurricane we had ruined my last camping trip. Where are you camping?
I'll be in Daytona for the 24-hour race.
Oh, that's right. I
got 3 campsites out there. That is my jam every year. You know what? I get 3 campsites every year, and I invite a lot of people, and nobody shows up. I need to invite Blood Bowlers.
Yeah, you
get some Blood Bowl during the racing, and it's closer to y'all. How's that New Hampshire scene for Blood Bowl, though?
I'm in Vermont, actually.
Vermont.
I just started a league up. Yeah, I just started a league. There's Rutland, which is a town, a large town. Well, for Vermont, it'd probably fit in like the Disney parking lot. They have, I think, 2 game stores. One of them, Drogo Games. They do a league, and so they were doing a league, and I think they had like 10 players, 8 players last time. I think now they have this new one that they just started this week. They have 11 players, so it's good. It seems to be picking up. They don't. I don't know if they do tournaments. But I was thinking of eventually, when I get more familiar with the local scene, I'm going to be running one up there at that store. There's a gaming convention in at one of the ski resorts in November, and I was thinking of going for a day, but I didn't play anything. Just kind of stopped by, looked around, checked it out a little bit. But I started last Wednesday. Started with my first league game. I'm actually playing Corn, and I got the living shit beat out of me. I lost 6-0. I lost 6-0. It was the worst game I've ever had.
Kidding.
I mean, as far as how badly I got beat, I took 6 casualties, did 2. So yeah. it was against Skaven, obviously, or either as you could tell by the score, or I guess it could have been Elves too. So it was like a turn 5. I got the ball first. Turn 4 or 5, I'm knocking out his players. I've got I injured somebody, and I'm moving up the field. I got like a blob of guys moving up the field. The corner door has the ball, and like five squares away from the end zone. And like the turn right before that, he says, "Oh, well, your luck's got to change soon sometime." I said, "Oh, believe me, it does." This is unusual for me because I was rolling good, armor breaks and things like that. And the Bloodthirster, or I guess the Bloodspawn now, blitzes to knock somebody away so the guy can run into the end zone. Triple Skulls fails the loner test, straight up fucking dies. I had an Apothecary, and the Apothecary, the reroll was miss next game, -1 strength. So after that, it went downhill from there. He picked up the ball in 2 turns. It was 1-0, and then by the end of this first half, it was 2-0. He just started taking my guys out left and right. And basically the second half, there was like one point where I had like 4 guys on the field against 11 Skaven. And basically the gutter runner just was running up and down the field, scoring every other turn. It was a mess. So basically what I'm going to do is, I made a bad list. I made a list basically, the kind of like the old corn, the old NAF rules, where you had instead of the corner gores, it was the bloodletters, and you had the bloodthirster, and so the heralds were only strength 3, and that kind of thing. And so it was kind of like based on that, not really completely taking into account the new corn rules. And so I took, I wanted the bloodthirster out. I took 3 rear rolls because frenzy and all that shit, and no block and no ball handling skills. And I took the Apothecary, and then I went with 4 Cornagores and 6 pit fighters, and then I didn't take any of the heralds. And looking back on, I should have probably taken dropped all the Cornagores except maybe 1, and taken a pair of heralds or 3 heralds out if I was able to fit them in, because they really need that. Losing regen, and that's the other thing that I was used to. Okay, well, 11 players, that's not bad. Not having any backup, but then my Apothecary. But then he's like, oh well, yeah, that's a big difference when they don't have regen anymore on half the guys. So, I was gonna just scrub and reset the team, and they were gonna let me. But then I was thinking about it, like working stuff out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 4 of my pit fighters died. That was the other thing. He was rolling good on the injury. After the injury, the long-term injury, that D16, he was rolling 15s and 16s on that. So 5 of my guys died completely. So I'm gonna basically fire the bloodletter that's gimped with the -1 strength. I'm gonna fire all the remaining pit fighters. Fire 2 of the Cornagores. I'm gonna hire. I'm gonna take my winnings and the money I kept in the treasury, and hire 2 heralds and the bloodletter again. And then I'm just going to have. I think that gets me to like 790 team value. And then I'll have to take 6 journeymen at the start of my next match. So I'll be up to I'll be up to 1,090,000, which if I play somebody that lost, I might be giving them like 50 points in if I play somebody that didn't do very well in the first round, maybe I might be giving them a couple Bloodvisor babes. But I think if I play anybody that won their game, I shouldn't be giving them that much. So I got a loner on half my team now, but I'm okay with that. Because I'll just replace them as I go, as I get money. And I'd rather do, if I absolutely had to be able to just play and enjoy playing and not just be, I would have reset the team. But, I found a way to kind of get around it. I mean, I could still basically play and have fun and try to win games with this new setup. But it's just I'm a little gimp, that's all. But yeah, I mean, before when it was like the Strength 4 Bloodthirster and then a bunch of pit fighters, I was like, oh boy, yeah, no. I mean, there's no way I'm going to be able to win any games in this league. So I'm going to be back. I'll be back. I think me and Josh are going to be defending our title. We've been talking in the TKC. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in May. Just I guess been bouncing around ideas for teams and stuff like that. Not sure exactly what we're doing, but
awesome.
Yeah, speaking of which, somebody
don't say it. Don't you say it, Ben? Soon is all I have to say. Is soon. Well, here, I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit. We're going to basically be using Chaos Cup rules for TKC. I just have to modify them a little bit to kind of, make it a little bit more theme flavored for teams. But yeah, we're going to be using a very, very close approximation to the Chaos Cup rules for November. So I should get them all squared away this week.
I'm trying to remember what they were. Well, actually, I haven't been to Chaos Cup in a few years since 2018. So I'm trying to remember.
It was a relatively low build, team build. There's also a star player points, and there's a star player penalty tax for some of the bigger stars. The last round we're going to do
more things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Last round, we're going to do a chaos round, and we may even, if it's done in time and we're able to 3D print them, we may actually unveil the what we're planning on doing for that round during TKC. So I'll add more details as we go. But if all goes well, then we're going to be opening up the room blocks for TKC and Chaos Cup next week.
Cool.
Okay, and Chaos Cup is in October or September?
November. That puts us.
November. Okay.
Yeah, that puts us mostly out of hurricane season. Pretty much, we had a fluke this past year.
Yeah.
It's after Halloween Horror Nights, and it's before Thanksgiving, so it's like the sweet spot of getting people in and out of Orlando on the cheap.
Yeah, we our house we're pretty sure because it was at the bottom of a hill, and we're pretty sure it flooded. Because we were kind of like watching the Zillow listing, and Ian happened, and then the house went off the market for 4 weeks.
That's terrible.
I'm sure they had to fix some shit.
Oh no.
So yeah. What about? Oh, I was meant to ask you. Right? So, the Friday night. Is it still up in the air? Still to be decided? The Friday before TKC.
Yeah, I don't think we have it set in stone. I know Jason York is going to be running the icebreaker prior to Chaos Cup, and it's either going to be maybe like a River City Dungeon Bowl type event, or maybe a Death Bowl event. But no, I don't think we have anything for TKC like locked in yet.
Okay, because I'm hoping to. I got Gary's working on something for me right now. And
Gary's working on something for everybody right now, apparently.
Gary gets a lot of work. I'm glad he's been really busy lately. So we've been doing him some work the last few years. That's kind of cool. I'm hoping like this week if I could put something together. A proposed event for that Friday. Once I lock in, I'm going to be there.
Just let me know.
I think you will like the theme. Actually, it's kind of like you're the inspiration for the theme. Actually.
It's about a bearded man who's very hangry.
Yeah. Yes. You're closer than you think with that guess. Yeah.
I'll take it.
All right. Well, I won't take up take up the airlines, the fall lines anymore. But
It's
you
good to
know
hear
what?
from you.
I did want to mention when you talked about erotica for the magazine. Cecilia, as a joke, once wrote a Dr. Carnivian erotica.
Oh no!
Get ready for your submissions, Ben.
She said, "Is okay if I write if I do because like she was like reading some of the joke eroticas on the internet about things and like Sesame Street characters and all that. She's like, I want to do Dr. Carnivian. It was like right after I started doing the sports desk thing and videos. John, I want to do Dr. Carnivian erotica. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, as long as Rufus can be in it.
There, absolutely, you can't exclude him.
Yeah, so Rufus is humping somebody's leg in the middle of the whole orgy scene. So
That sounds perfect.
I just figured to get a kick out of that. I'm like, when you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, I got an idea for it.
Yeah, submissions already sent. Check your email box, Ben. It's there.
Yeah, I'm actually working on something, and I'm glad Ben said when you have your rants, that's your outlet. So I was like, because like the thing I had the most of written, I was like, oh, this is getting a little saucy here. I was like, maybe I'll save that then for I'll have like save that for my second one for the summer zine. And so no, okay, so if rants about stuff are par for the course, then yeah, it should be okay. So I'll continue with that one I'm working on, and hopefully I'll get that to you next couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
We appreciate the call.
Right.
It is a call-in
night
show.
down there.
You understood the assignment.
Yep.
It's a call-in show. You figured it out. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
All right, stay warm.
Yeah, I think it is warm. He took a little bit of Florida with him.
New Hampshire. I don't know why I kept saying.
He needs to come back down here and pick up his winters, running around my yard all crazy like.
He's in Vermont. I kept thinking New Hampshire. I don't know. It's all the same. All those
Now, geography-wise, it's not my first language. Geography.
New England.
They're near each other, though, right?
One of those cold
Sure.
states. Yeah.
You could get a what do they call those things that the lobster roll at any of those places?
Oh, see, well, we always got to. Everything's got to devolve to food.
Yeah, that's what we live for. We're playing Blood Bowl and eating
I'm in.
and drinking.
TKC is May, so just reminding folks, put that on their calendar. May 12th through the 14th. So if you're preparing for November, what is it, 3rd? Is it November 3rd?
Yep, it's going to be 3rd, 4th, and 5th for
Chaos Cup. If you want to get some good practice in, TKC will be the place to do it. I'm going to talk with wifey and family to see if we can make a TKC event again. That'll be my 3rd one in a row. That'd be great to be able to
It is
go.
over Mother's Day, I think.
I know, man.
It's the only thing.
Luft is trying to get me stabbed, man.
You get out of there in time, you bring them, and then you make a weekend.
And I do every time. And that's the great part is every Blood Bowl event that I've been a part of, my family's been with me. We've stayed at the hotel together, eaten lunch together, hung out, the pool
That's the way to do
together.
it.
It's great.
You gonna do player trades, James?
If we're playing Chaos Cup rules, probably not. But we're gonna like I said, we're gonna try and take the Chaos Cup rule set and make it a little bit team friendly and have some fun with it. So, like I said, I'm gonna try and get that out this week because many people have been asking. They need those 4 or 5 months of preparation to go over their rosters, 1,000 times, and I get it. So it's in the works. But while we're on the subject of tournaments, I'm just going to take a moment now, only because I think we're going to get hopefully one more caller like Don to talk for a little while. So I'll be honest. Wow, 2023 filled up fast on the Blood Bowl calendar for Florida Blood Bowl. It we have a lot of our mainstay tournaments coming back again, but we also have a lot of new tournaments from some new tournament organizers. So I'm just going to kind of run through them really quick here. And if anyone is looking for more details on any of these, you can go to the Florida Blood Bowl Facebook group under events, and you can find all of these listed. But like I said, 2023 is pretty jam-packed already. So the next one we have coming up at the end of January at Brevard Game Lounge is going to be the Giant Tournament, Let Them Fight, run by Anthony Guadalupe, focusing, as you've heard before, on Giants. Then we have the 4-coach team event, Safari Bowl. It's going to be in Savannah, Georgia at the end of February 25th and 26th. We're up to 14 teams already. There is room for 2 more teams. We're capping at 16, but in order to hit 16, we have to actually have a 15th and a 16th team. We're doing them in pairs to ensure that when we're pairing rounds, it's going to be a team versus team environment. If you're a fan of Dungeon Bowl, Skirmish Con is going to feature Dungeon 7s at the beginning of March 4th. Then take a quick trip up to Mississippi for Bloodweiser Boost Fest 2 on Saturday, March 11th. And then, oh my God, the 18th. If you could teleport and be in more than one place at the same time, we have Splendid Cup, which is outside of our Voodoo tournament series, but it's still run by one of our friends who's visited many, many Florida Blood Bowl tournaments, Denny Franks. That's going to be up in North Carolina. Then we have Zeechees Open 2023. That's going to be in Tennessee, run by Matt Paring, also on the same day, March 18th. Then we had to move this tournament due to some unforeseen circumstances with getting some swag in. So we moved it from February to March, but this is going to be the Nature Coast Blood Orange Bowl run by John Betzold. And that's a 7s event on March 25th. April, we have Doombeard Dave's 3 times is the charm. This is the 3rd time it's been moved and postponed. Doombeard Dave's Thankful for Violence. And this ended up morphing into a free Blood Bowl tournament. You heard me right. It's a free Blood Bowl tournament in Miami, which was a huge scene for Florida Blood Bowl back in the day. And we're trying to grow that scene again. We have a lot of coaches down there. So it's going to be at Lincoln's Beard Brewing. So there's going to be tacos involved. There's going to be beer involved. There's even tattoos nearby. So I think we should all get Florida.
Oh, sounds like a lot of bad decisions are going to be made that weekend.
I like to be optimistic. I think these are going to be great decisions that we look back upon with like, yeah, that was a good idea.
Yeah, Benny K walks out with a face tattoo.
Now, he's going to get a tattoo of Veronica on his arm or something. That would make sense.
Yeah.
This way you could be like, well, I got a tattoo, yeah, but it's of you. So how could you really fault me for that?
There you go. She'd probably be happy if I got some tattoos. She's all about it. I'm just like,
it's permanent. You got to give it some thought, unless you're addicted to ink, you got to really put some thought into that. Yeah, I'm long overdue. Sometimes my t-shirt will go up and be like, you have a tattoo? And I'm like, why is that so hard to believe? So anyway, then we have coming
I
up.
find that hard to believe.
Yeah, that's why I segued right back into the tournaments here.
Moving on.
Moving on. So then we're back into April 22nd. We have also postponed. This is take 3. Hopefully 3 times is a charm. This is Stu for the crew. Michael Fortino at Armada Games is going to be running this, and he has some very interesting rules to kind of add a little bit of quote unquote flavor, seeing as how this is a
it's so punny.
Yes, very punny, centered around chili. So if you take a look at the rules for that, it's going to be a good time. Then we have, let's see here, Alabama Blood Bowl really stepping up their game. We have Stake Your Claim, a Blood Bowl tournament in Alabama on April 22nd. TKC weekend, May 12th through the 14th. Then I'll let Ben take the next one because he knows what it is.
Yeah, the Cobalt Cup 3. I added a bunch of extra weird shit to it, but we're trying.
It wouldn't be Cobalt Cup if you didn't.
It wouldn't be. It really wouldn't be. I'm trying to keep it within so it should be theoretically, this should qualify as regular Blood Bowl, not as a specialist, because the only things I really messed with were some inducements. So it'll be kind of fun. We'll make it interesting. 9 States is having us back.
Love 9 States.
Oh, it was great. That Korean fusion type food. It was so good.
And they love us. They love Florida Blood Bowl. They're very happy when we play there. Yeah. After that one, we have Knuffles Wild, the return of Knuffles Wild. This is the 4th installment. That's going to be on June 17th. And Josh is finally running with the ball here. I can't tell you how many times it was suggested by various tournament organizers and various coaches from different areas of Blood Bowl. It's like, could we do a tournament that starts off as like street and then goes into 7s and then goes into 11s? So Josh is actually doing that with this tournament. He's working on the rule set, but that's going to be at Punk Outer Games up in Gainesville, Vegas. They were so good to us during our it's the last tournament of 2022, but the first tournament of the 2023 tournament series that Nick Blackie ran, which was the Gaines Vegas Hurricane Bowl. Everybody loved that game store. Like, that was our first time at that game store. The owners were super great to us, It had a lot of game space, and we didn't feel cramped. And even there's about 30 of us there. They have a lot of product. It was a good day. Everybody loved it. So we couldn't wait to get back there. And as it turned out, Josh ended up making arrangements with the owner, and it just all fell into place. July 1st. So we're into summer for sure. And we have the return of Inconceivable 4, run by Joe Coten up in the Northeast Florida Blood Bowl area, Jacksonville. And if you're a fan of The Princess Bride, which I am because I'm wearing my mutton, lettuce, and tomato t-shirt, an MLT, that is a Princess Bride based tournament, and it's always a lot of fun. And this is going to be the 4th one. Then we got another Alabama Blood Bowl tournament, Saturday, July 15th, the Right Stuff, Surface of the Sun. I'm sure that one's going to have some very fun rules. Then if you're into making long distance pilgrimages across the wastelands known as I-10 out to Pensacola, we have Quest for the Grail Shaped Trophy 5. That's run by Jamie Woodard on July 22nd and 23rd. That's a 2-day tournament. Get Your Fun On in Melbourne is going to be July 29th, Summer Smackdown. Nick Cassavant is going to be running that. The return of River City Dungeon Bowl 5. That is a staple of Florida Blood Bowl, run by the most awesomest man in the world, Jason York. He's going to be running that on August 12th in Jacksonville. Then Don had mentioned earlier, we have Cornval 5, the Chaos Waste Trios. That's going to be in Alabama, I believe, on Saturday, August 19th. I'm going to blow through these really quick. Stunny Slam 4, the one with the giant, run by Ken Parks. That one's going to be in August. Then we have Crucible. So we're going from a 3-day Blood Bowl weekend after a lot of the feedback that we got. People were like, that's so much Blood Bowl. We didn't even know what to do with ourselves. So we're going to do a doubleheader. We're going to do a smaller variant event, and then we're going to run an 11s event. Joe Hoffman is going to run that. That's going to be on Saturday, the 29th in Orlando. Then we have another Alabama Blood Bowl tournament, the Right Stuff, Howl at the Moon. More details to follow on that event page. Then we have Chaos Cup, the first week in November 3rd, 4th, and 5th, followed by Ancient City Barrel Bash, the end of November. And then I think we have one more event at Get Your Fun On. Krampus returns. And then we have the Voodoo Tournament Series Awards ceremony, which is going to be, I think that's going to be also at Punk Outer. We're going to do maybe a Death Bowl match, gather a bunch of coaches around the table and, nonsense happens, eat some food, hand out some awards, so on and so forth. But the 3 things that are missing from this event page it was recently announced last weekend that the Games Workshop US Open Tournament Series is coming back in 2023. And we're going from 1 Blood Bowl tournament that we had last year in Kansas City to 3 events this year, which is great. That means in their eyes, it did well. It's growing. Yeah, we're going to be in Kansas City again. We had such a good time there. We're going to do a repeat there. We're going to be in Tacoma, Washington, which is great because those Pacific Northwestern Blood Bowl coaches up there have a great scene. That's Jason Weaver and David Burrows and so many others. And then we're going to be in Tampa, Florida, which is awesome. And that's also 2 weeks before Chaos Cup too. So there's a lot of Blood Bowl coming down the pipe. A lot of Blood Bowl for 2023. So I'm very excited. More Blood Bowl, more better.
Look at that right on the board, man. Tampa Bay.
So how does something like this work, out of curiosity, since you're on the topic of it? Is it like part of a convention? Is it part of is it just something you just come to? And
so the goal or the idea of the U.S. Tournament Series is to kind of bring in fans of Games Workshop systems like 40K and Age of Sigmar and Blood Bowl and Kill Team and Warcry and all the different games that they have. Bring those people in for a weekend, let them play some games. There's a Forge World store that's going to be on site. It's a lot to take in and kind of immerse yourself in that scene for the weekend. So we're very fortunate where Blood Bowl made a return to the U.S. Open Tournament Series last year. We had 1 event in Kansas City, the only event that featured Blood Bowl. This year we have 3. So it's GW Blood Bowl. So you're going to play with GW models. That's probably the biggest thing that most people are by now aware of. And with the matched playbook that just got released, we're going to be utilizing basically that whole thing for this tournament series for all these events. And those rule packs should be coming out next week. And what does that mean for people who haven't read the match playbook? It's basically everything you've been doing already for a NAF tournament. There's just a few variations which are still the same. Like for instance, skills, instead of like saying, well, you have 200K for skills or 200 gold for skills, we're saying you have 40 star player points. Basically, it's just going to be, you have X amount of point buy, and you can buy, let's say you're a tier 1 team, you're going to get, maybe just throwing it out there until the rule set comes out, 6 points because you're tier 1. So a primary is 1 point, a secondary skill is 2 points, a star player is 2 points, and they also introduced mega stars, which the NAF has already kind of, a lot of the tournament organizers under the NAF tournaments have already started doing like the star player tax. This is basically the same thing, where instead of spending extra money or extra star player points in order to get those mega stars like Griff and Morg and Deeproot, you're going to be spending a couple of your extra points that you get. I think it's going to be 4 points for a mega star. So there's really not much difference outside of what we're doing with NAF. As opposed to these GW tournaments, I think it'll be a real easy learning curve. So it's basically, it's done to try and make it as easy and as good of a time as possible for all coaches, whether you're brand new or whether you're a veteran coach, to come out. And honestly, based off of the feedback that we got last year from Kansas City, I think that these 3 events are also going to be just as popular, and those weekends are going to be just as memorable as last year. I know it was a mouthful. Cool. Hopefully I answered your question, Ben.
I will, I'm not always the biggest fan of some of that kind of stuff, but I'd like to give it a shot and see what it's all about. So I think
it's too corporate for you. You're too indie.
Yeah, it is. It is. I worry that, I was part of the group of people that's a little worried that, the more that the corporation takes back control over the game, the more, they're going to maybe just make some decisions that are more monetary based than, actually balance based. I know that right now is not the time to have that discussion, as we've seen with all that OGL stuff that's been going on. I don't know how many of y'all have been keeping up on that, but
that's a hot topic in our game group.
Yeah,
we got Rory joining us on the StreamYard. Hello, Rory. But we also got a call coming in. Beans and Dice, state your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Gonzo the Questionable calling from Melbourne.
Hello, Gonzo.
Caller, first-time listener. I was asking, I wanted to ask a question about the GW series. Will the GW series also be NAF scored?
That is a great question, and I'm sad to say that I glossed over that. But yes, all of the GW tournament events are going to be NAF, just like Kansas City was last year. Yes. When the Kansas City event was announced last year, that was the first comment out of somebody's mouth, like, well, this isn't going to be NAF approved. Well, actually, we made sure that it was NAF approved. So there's the mentality that they want these tournaments to be out there, in the world, and they want them to be as enjoyable for NAF members and veteran Blood Bowl coaches as for, newbie Blood Bowl coaches who don't even know what the NAF is. So we kind of wanted to cater to all coaches we can find.
What are your thoughts, Gonzo? Official corporate sponsored Blood Bowl tournaments, but also giving respect to the NAF.
Looking forward to trading in my soul at the registration desk so I can play.
Nice.
GW will gladly take your soul.
I sent a message to Taco Bell, and I said I would make jerseys if they would support my Warhammer 40K or Blood Bowl team. I did not get a response.
Not yet.
I just wanted the chalupas.
Man after my own heart, man. Taco Bell's my spot. That's my jam.
If we got sponsors for gaming at these big tournaments, we're going to LVO. That's coming up in next weekend.
Las Vegas Open.
Yeah, we're gonna have like 3,000 people, maybe more. What is it?
But I'm a cheap date. I'd sell myself just for a $5 box. I'd wear whatever you want me to talk about. Just give me a $5 box. I'm good.
I can save $5.
Gonzo, any other topics going on in your area, Blood Bowl wise?
New league starting up at Get Your Fun On. So if anyone's listening and is in the area, wants to play, sign up before midnight tonight. You'll get in.
What a great shop. I have not had the opportunity to play Blood Bowl at Get Your Fun On, but many years I spent playing competitive X-Wing at Get Your Fun On, and they've got my heart. I think I stunned him.
Love playing at Get Your Fun On. The high ceilings make you feel like you're not so claustrophobic with all the people around you.
Right.
It is when you walk into their gaming area, your mouth drops and it takes your breath away. It's immense, huge.
And there's a good little Chinese spot right nearby. Grab some Chinese food in between matches. Oh no, man, COVID, I hate you.
Yeah.
There's always another one that takes its place.
Was that where we were playing the team event recently?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. There's a bar right next door. You can just jump in there, drink some beers, jump back.
Right. Yes, there is one right next door. You could in between rounds. You can drown your woes when you're losing.
I went in there and I pounded 3 beers in between rounds, and the woman just looked at me, and I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I just like that's not a huge deal. Like we got games to play. Went back in there, ended up doing pretty well. So.
Oh, thanks for your time. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Hey, appreciate you calling in. That's so
Hey,
cool.
so
People
we
from
got-
all over the place.
We got Rory in here, and I wanted to have him in tonight because he's a lot of fun and has a lot of crazy ideas. And we've seen some of his projects in the last year that some questionable content there. But so we had our AI. What would Blood Bowl look like as a?
That got like 30,000 views. I was kind of amazed by that. I don't think it was all Blood Bowl players. I had used AI to make what Blood Bowl would look like if it was a 1980s movie, and I thought it was pretty dope. It was cool. Like it looked like Flash Gordon for the most part.
Where can folks
awesome.
find this?
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Block, but I don't think anyone can find it. The other thing I did was a 3-hour Blood Bowl team beer pairing, where I would pair every team with a beer, drink the beer, and then talk about the team. And I got blacked out. So by the end of it, I'm like, Lizard Men? Like, what? Who knows? And it was kind of a mess. But if you can handle 3 hours of that, I think that's some great content. And I'm sitting right here, just pounding beers. Can I drink on this stream? Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Cheers, Poppy. What you got? I got the Yingling. This is my local brew here in Tampa.
4-pack, but they're 16 ounce, so it's actually like
Tall boys.
more.
There you go.
I've been drinking for hours. I just watched Taken. I cried the whole time. He's such a good guy.
I have a particular set of skills.
Dude, great.
Kill Liam Neeson, yeah.
Yeah, so I just played a practice match for my LVO team against another guy. I have to drive an hour. I live in Salt Lake City, so I had to drive down to Provo, which is where Brian 2 lives and some other guys that are really good at Blood Bowl. The trick is their strategies. They just don't drink, so they're sober, and it's cheating.
It is. I gotta give Soul some shit because we were talking about that. We're sitting down for some strategy for our team event that's coming up, and I was like, man, I want to play a team I can drink and have fun and do okay. And he's like, well, there's always a possibility you could just not drink during a tournament. And I was like,
wait a minute.
What kind of tournament is that?
I made the music for this too. Don't play it. You might.
I don't play music because I don't want the copyrights. I never play the audio.
Loops.
Yeah, I don't want to get copyrighted on it. But I found your channel. You said I couldn't find it. A little Google foo. Salt Lake City, man, beautiful place. I got to make a trip out there right before COVID with my son for some Ford Performance Racing School out there.
Oh, yeah.
Coming from Puerto Rico and Miami, right? Not having that elevation that y'all have out there. That was amazing. Beautiful city.
I think so too. Yeah.
I love some of these, and I think if you get to see any of the Skavens, they are the best.
The AI is really difficult. It's actually really hard to add footballs to football helmets to characters. So one of the things I did that I think is interesting is that I added a bunch of solemn people in dugouts. So there's a few guys just like on the bench.
Like that.
Yeah,
What happened?
I
What's
thought it'd be
going
interesting
on?
to see like behind the scenes.
Oh, we got a call coming in. Let's see who it is. Beans and Dice, Florida Blood Bowl podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hi, everybody. My name is Eric. I was just calling to tell you that I love you, and I'm really drunk. Have a wonderful night.
That's my
Is
guy.
that I didn't even have time to put the
You didn't
name
even
up on the
stay
banner.
around at all.
Was that the burger himself?
That none of that shocks me.
He's out there living his best life, that man.
Yes,
I
he is.
tell you. God knows
This
what
is some
he's
cool stuff, man. This is good. It's really well done. The way you blended in the football into it.
The one
The Control
Amazon picture
Slayers.
is
It's AI, so
wow.
it's prompts. So I've written like a paragraph of what I'm looking for.
Oh.
It's kinda
See, I haven't played with like Midjourney
Wait
or
for the
anything. I played with some of the other ones that were like out there that are
This is my
kind of
Amazon.
crappy.
Look at her. Look at that.
But the Midjourney ones seem like the ones that make some really
The
cool
beast
results.
man.
And
It's really hard. So the way I did it was it's not so much telling it what to do, but to tell it what to do based on what you're asking for, which is I wrote
Sounds like my wife trying to figure out how to get me to do something. It's like,
Exactly
don't tell him exactly what to do, but kind of prompt him in a direction.
yeah. So I would say I
Oh.
want a screen grab of a 1980s dark fantasy film from DVD, and then I would say American football helmet, and then I'd say worn by, and I'd say like an orc or a goblin. The AI doesn't know what a troll is. It thinks a troll, a goblin, and an orc. are
An
all the
internet troll.
like this silly lizard man. It's rough. It's hard. A lot of attempts.
That's great. This is great. I'm gonna let this keep playing.
Wood Elf Girl. It's
I think that helmet's neat.
yeah. I mean, this is a whole aesthetic. I love it. You know, like it just seems like I would imagine seeing this movie on Sci-Fi Channel late at night when I was, like 13 and being like, oh, that's cool. You know?
Like rollerball or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
good
don't
stuff.
know. I love the dwarves. They look so stupid. Just, it's like, yeah.
No, it also goes up for 10 minutes. I think a lot of people were comments where I think this is neat, but 10 minutes of it?
I'm letting it go in its entirety.
had-
So y'all don't need to stick onto this topic, but it's going to continue to play because I'm enjoying it.
You had some patience to go through and make like so many of these, I think. Just
No, it took me a while. I also paid $30 to do that many permutations because they keep ending up with extra fingers or like weird things happening.
Those are the Skavens. Oh my god.
Also, this is a ball and chain. I tried to explain ball and chain. It didn't get it.
No, I think it did okay.
There's
It
another
didn't-
one.
let me rewind that. Let's get back to that.
This came in.
That's not too horrible.
No, it gets worse. I think there's a. He just used the
It's
ball.
kind of like a Flavor Flav thing going here, you know, with the clock. It's,
No, these things are so cool. I think that I know there's a lot of controversy with this stuff. I know a lot of people are upset about,
There he is.
another ball and chain.
It is the ball and chain.
Well, it's not wrong.
Look at the stuff. in the back.
Right?
That's
Looks
a little
angry.
closer to a
I
ball
like
and chain, I think. Yeah.
Extra limbs.
Came in like a wrecking ball. Y'all can hum that to yourselves.
No, I'm
I
trying
can
to
see
get my
Creek
vocal
holding
channel
him.
up to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize it and make music and do stuff. This is the only way to do it. This is the only thing that's popular.
Well, let me show the folks at home so they can see the channel. It is called Block !
Yeah, I don't think
472 subs.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Hey, I've been doing this a few years. I'm only at 560, bro. You're doing great.
I've got another YouTube channel that's like, I don't know, like 10 million views.
Damn.
But I don't support it. I used to not
Hey,
Blood
she's
Bowl.
like 10 million views. I don't even try. It just
I
happens.
don't. Lazy.
Yeah, I think there's some interesting potential. I know, like I said, there's some controversy with it, and I think your post got a little bit of hate on there for a little while.
Couple anti-AI guys. for sure.
A social media post that got hate? No.
I know. How does that ever happen?
No, I just posted something on Blood Bowl community yesterday where I said I have an idea for a skill. I called it Slimy Skin, where you sacrifice your move and you can just do one square for free, and then avoid tackle zones. And someone said it was super leap, and I was like, leap is good. This is one square. It's not that good. The real benefit is like Nurgle could move around and shift and apply its negative modifiers around the pitch.
Oh, is that a halfling?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did my Bit Vampire looks great. I love that one.
I'm waiting for the Amazon girl. She is
I did the Amazon.
amazing. I'd marry her in a heartbeat.
No, but a lot of people are just negative to, creator content, to homebrew. It's one of those things. I think AI was a soft point for some people who think it steals from artists or it undermines their abilities. But to me, it's a tool, just like Photoshop is a tool, and it's interesting and it makes cool stuff, and it's not perfect. So
having more choices doesn't steal from anybody, not in my opinion.
Werewolf.
It's not zero sum. All can participate. I'm mind blown as to what this AI has been able to do. This is awesome.
It's entertaining. I'd watch this for 10 minutes.
We can put this on a projector on a loop at TKC with some music in the background. Really get into that theme.
I've seen some weird ones like there's like Muppets in Mad Max and stuff. And it's a weird.
Give me some prompts, I'll make it. I'll do it tonight.
There's some cool stuff out there. I guess I have to learn how to use it sometime because it's just like a Discord chant that you do with the bot.
Yeah, it's super bizarre. So I was talking to my world. So I'm going to the World Championship, the thing in Alicante, Spain this year, and I was sending pictures of what I was doing for this to my squad, and one of the guys, he's a mailman in Vegas, and he's like, "What is this? This is amazing." This is Mark. And he's like, I want to do it. So he looked into it and he's like, what is this? He's an older guy. And he's like, what is this Discord stuff? I don't understand. And I was like, I don't know how to explain millennial stuff to a boomer. I just can't.
No, definitely not to Mark. Yeah, he's an Uber boomer.
No, he's like, I don't understand the internet. I don't understand what's happening. It's a Discord. I was like,
well, like magic, man. The fact that AI did this is it to me. I'm with Mark. I'm not a techie guy. This is like I'm staring at this, mind blown.
It's definitely something crazy. I mean, yeah.
I'm scared for the future. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to believe anything I see ever.
Zack Snyder's doing this right now.
Well,
he's inspired by Rory.
People are making weird stuff too, like they're making like historic pictures and stuff, and like what battle Gettysburg looked like on the beach one day or something, and all this weird stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's cool, but it kind of blurs the lines of reality and makes us wonder.
I saw an article today that Kickstarter is banning AI generated artwork from their platform.
Really?
Right, so I mean, this isn't a soft topic. This is a topic that's in the mainstream right now. So I'm kind of glad to be having this conversation.
Between this and the OGL, it's like, oh
yeah.
No, did I tell you guys? I interviewed Dungeons & Dragons. I would have been their lead copywriter, and I had 3 interviews. This is like 6 months ago, and I was like watching the OGL stuff, and I'm like, thank God. Because I would have had to written this stupid thing apologizing to everybody. And I would have been upset too.
You'd be getting death threats and bad emails and stuff.
No, like I have a weird career as like a writer. I worked at if you guys know what Reddit is, I worked at Imager, like Imgur, and some other stuff in the public space. So like that helped me out with my career is like applying, and I applied to D&D as a joke. I didn't think they'd call me. So I was really surprised to have a bunch of interviews at Wizards of the Coast. But at the end of the day, I was like, it's not a lot of money. They're going to pay me in magic cards. And then I have to move them. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
They're going to pay you in Spellfire cards.
I was like, I don't think he knows what he's doing. which is still the case, I guess. But yeah, like if I had taken it, if I would have written that, and thank God.
We got a call coming in. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Walter again from Tampa.
Ah, welcome back. Did you forget something?
I just want to say that if this was an '80s Blood Bowl movie, I would so be watching this. This seems like it's the trailer for a cheesy '80s Blood Bowl movie, and I so wish this existed for me to watch.
Well, make sure you subscribe. Find it Block ! At Block BB on YouTube, and we can get these. We can at least get to 500, hopefully.
I think we should just market it as the sequel to Crawl.
Night, Barry.
We should market that as the sequel to Crawl.
Well, that's nice. He got the intent.
Yeah,
Sorry, I came in late and I'm drunk. So thanks, guys.
Yeah,
that's what the link is for.
For a good closer, you know.
My God, it's almost 11 o'clock.
For those watching at home, the story of we went on a RV trip to Oklahoma, and that's where I met Rory at one of the events.
Oklahoma Bowl
parking lot, and you said we should probably go in the RV. We don't drink in the parking lot, and like Florida guys.
So in between rounds, we're going in there down in beers, and we walk over to the bar and have a couple of beers, and it's just like it's just. Like, let's just get drunk. It's Spiky Cup, you know. No big
Don't
deal.
forget about Cane's Chicken. So it was get drunk, Cane's Chicken, Blood Bowl.
That was a fun trip, though. That really
not exactly in that order.
No, you're not telling the best part of the Florida trip, which was getting into your RV. You said it stinks in here, and it did. And you're like, one of us smells bad. We don't know which one.
We still don't know. There's a mystery there because
somebody stank, and it.
Yeah, but who's going to be the first one to step up to try to figure it out? Like putting nostril to butt.
Order of elimination on that one. It's so funny.
It was my Crocs. It was my Crocs. I'll take the blame.
That was where Biscotti had gotten some of those things about us being half washed or whatever. Yeah.
I love that. It was half drunk, half naked, and half washed. That's like three halves. I'm not sure.
that was the weekend that the lockdown started. That was literally that weekend. And I know there was a basketball player from Utah that was in Oklahoma City that weekend who tested positive, and it became like an outbreak or something. Something happened. Jeez. So I remember
it was patient zero.
Yeah, there was the both down guys. It was Steve and Scott freaking out, and like someone had chopsticks moving their models.
No. I remember that.
Do you remember how uncertain that time was? Like, my family and I watched Contagion the movie and Outbreak the movie because we wanted to just kind of get into the theme of it all. And then we were all freaked out, like, I think we're all going to die. This is going to be bad.
We played, just kind of weird, like, thought off the cuff. We played this game called Pathologic 2 during the pandemic. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. It's a video game. Oh, my God. Just, like, the timing was perfect for it because it's about, like, this weird, like, virus and stuff. And it was interesting, but... yeah, it just seemed like everything kind of made everything seem scary at that time. The world was a terrifying place. We had just, but yeah, we were on the road at the time, and I remember like work closing down and people like calling us and being like, "Oh, don't bring anything back with you. You know, don't lick any doorknobs on your way back to Florida." Because
and as things started to open up, I remember rule sets being put out about not sharing dice, and like we were so. I remember the first tournament. I think I was one of the first tournaments that ran in Florida was when I ran the Beans and Dice Bowl. I think it was the first tournament to open up for Florida after the COVID lockdowns. And it's like hand sanitizer everywhere and, all those extra precautions. And now it's like 3 sheets to the wind. We don't care no more. It's Florida.
There's still no
if you didn't die yet, you ain't going to die. You good.
We're still not sharding dice.
No,
I want to be honest. I don't want to share dice. It's like a toilet seat. I don't want to hold some warm dice.
Right?
Oh, that's the worst. Somebody hand you some warm dice.
Yeah, it's like ooh.
There's some funk on those dice.
That's got to be a thing. It's like a toilet seat. I don't want to be handed warm dice.
But what tryhard have you met that's actually done that? It's happened to me once, and it was in X-Wing. And X-Wing, we had some tryhards where it was like, I want to use your dice. And I'm like, really? Like, we're doing this. We are really doing this.
Lawnmower? You can use my wife? What are you?
What's next, man? What's next? I haven't seen that happen in Blood Bowl yet. I don't know if y'all have any stories of someone demanding to use somebody else's dice.
It's supposed to, so, theoretically it should be available to be, requested, but a lot of the tournaments since COVID have said just don't even bother with it. So I don't know if a NAF has made a ruling on that or not, if that's coming back or if they will in the future.
Dusdorf says some of the Virginia guys insist on sharing dice. Are we talking about West Virginia? Because they share a lot of stuff over there.
Oh, they share
cousins and.
Oh Lord!
Is at this moment Beans and Dice?
I'm sorry,
got canceled?
that was West Virginia.
Of the Western variety.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see
lick
some
them
of that
and
stuff
share
going
them. That's what
away. COVID Blood Bowl was an interesting thing. I remember Chaos Cup that year. We ended up getting a bunch of us went because the flight was like $42 or something. It was just like obscene.
Round trip.
Round trip. So we went up there and everybody was wearing masks and it was very weird, just to kind of, but I think, we all got drunk and stuff and everybody stopped doing that. But there's just been some tournaments you kind of forget about it, I remember there's been entire tournaments that we've done. I think Knuffles Wild and everything. We had to wear masks and stuff for that. It's just kind of funny to look back and see, I don't know.
I spent 4 days at Gen Con wearing a mask. And you know what the funny thing is? Everybody came home from Gen Con and they're like, we got COVID. It was,
and that was only a few months ago. That was what was weird to me about Gen Con.
Back in August.
It was really recently. And now
you couldn't get in there unless you had proof of vaccination. You had to stand in line in order to get your wristband for 2 hours. So you had to get your wristband, wear your mask. And I'm telling you, people come home and they're like, I have COVID. There was no avoiding it. There were just so many people there.
I don't even know how I would prove I was I got the vaccine. I don't know where I'm going to prove that I got,
they give you those cards. I had mine laminated and I take them at
the
time.
You're not supposed to do that. Maybe it's like a claim to fame, like getting an STD. I got COVID.
No, I just go around now and just tell people I got monkeypox.
I don't want that new.
You got to stay away from those raves, man.
That's the new COVID, monkeypox. Can I borrow your monkey? No, man. You got to use your monkey.
The weirdest thing was I went to LVO. I think this was 2021, so January, right after 2020. And I was playing a guy from Spain who didn't speak English. And I was wearing a mask, he's wearing a mask, and he's like, no me gusta. No. And I was like, I can't.
No Nintendo.
I don't know a lot of Spanish, but I know enough to get by. But I can't see what you're saying, and it's muffled. And at one point, he's like, buenos manos, and I was like, sure hands? You have sure hands? Good hands? Buenos manos?
Yeah, you figured them out. There you go.
Yeah, it was hard with a mask to communicate, not just in English, but in different languages. It was very difficult. I
can barely communicate in English, so
with the mask. Well, because so much of Blood Bowl is a community and hanging out with friends and communicating. And when you're wearing a mask, it really diminishes that relationship. That's so fun.
Which is the reason I stuck around. It's the people in the community. I mean, I can find any game to play. I mean, you look at the shelves behind me. There's tons of them. I can find any game to play. It's the people.
I fucking slaughtered Magic, but playing Magic with those kids, I don't want to do it. Blood Bowl.
F them kids.
Blood Bowl as a community is the greatest people I've ever met, the most fun I've ever had, the best relationships, the best friends I've ever made. Blood Bowl is uniquely special, and I feel like a lot of it is that if you're a power gamer, it's just not your game. If you're competitive, it doesn't work for you. It's just there to have fun. It's just there with great people. It's just amazing. It's the best community ever.
But I always go back to when we get into tournaments and I see the same names coming to the top.
It's right? a Brian too.
It tells me that it isn't a luck fest. It isn't a dice roll fest. There is skill involved if you choose to play it. So that's why it works. It really does work.
It's how you handle failure, though. Like, you can tell those sweaty tryhards where when they're, miserable and gripey and, blaming everything and just if they're not laughing and if they're not drinking or if they're not having fun with it, then yeah, I don't know what's the point.
Half drunk, half naked, half showered.
Exactly.
Oklahoma City, I just did like I don't know, a month or two ago. I thought Scott from the Bolt Down podcast was like, I was so excited to play him. He had to take a lap. He was having a bad round.
Oh no.
He was super upset. And I was like, what? So much of Blood Bowl is not tilting, not getting too grumpy. So yeah, I think like some of the best players, honestly, are some guys from Utah I play with. They're Mormons, so they don't drink. They have good attitudes, and they just do really well. It's just because of those two things. It's not fair.
Who was the guy you brought with you to Kansas City?
My buddy Seth.
Seth was he was so great.
No, he was so he stayed up till 4 a.m. painting this giant diorama for a Pokemon he was so excited about. And then he came down the next morning and he's like, so the painting competition. And you said, there isn't a painting competition. And he's like, what?
I'm fairly positive there's going to be one this year in Kansas City. So tell him to bring that diorama.
He's going to take it back to LVO and try again to win the painting competition with his diorama. I thought it was funny. He snores. He kept me up too. So we were both up till like
Listen, if somebody snoring is keeping you up, you ain't tired enough.
Yeah, you're not drunk enough.
Right. If somebody snoring is keeping you up, you ain't tired enough.
No, in Oklahoma City, I went out drinking with some guys. Oh, so much fun. One of the guys watched my beer pairing video, and he was shaking my hand. He was so excited to hang out. He got his car broken into that night, and like,
yeah.
I thought I drank him under the table and killed him. I was like, he can't.
Yeah.
Come.
He disappeared the next day. We thought he dropped, and he lost his cell phone.
He lost his phone too. Yeah.
Did his team get stolen? Is that what happened? Like,
I don't know what happened. He missed the first couple rounds of day 2.
Yeah, we thought he died. Like he just didn't show up. People were reaching out to him. We heard nothing, and then he showed up like 4 or 5 hours later, and he's like, "Yeah, I had no alarm."
No, I thought I killed him.
Yeah. You came close, I'm sure.
No, we partied all night, like for sure.
And he was like 5'5". So yeah, I don't know.
He had a big cowboy hat. He's great.
I never thought about doing this, a beer pairing video to Blood Bowl.
No, yeah, I think I did a really good job. I want to do it for like 40K in other games. But I don't. I'm in Utah, so
wait, who got Paps?
Oh, that's Paps is Goblins.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Yep.
No, Bud Light is Orcs. Budweiser is Black Orcs. It makes sense. No, I put a lot of thought into it.
I like it. I think anytime drinking beer.
Who got Coors Light?
I didn't do Coors. I did Coors Banquet.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Like a
banquet.
Like a
for
banquet.
Halflings? There you go. There you go.
The champagne of beers.
You got to come down and play in one of our brewery events sometime.
9th State.
We're always doing them at. I love doing sevens at breweries. I'm not doing Kobold Cup as sevens just because apparently whenever somebody runs a sevens event, nobody wants to come. So I don't know. People complain about them and they don't show up as in big numbers as the 11s players. But I love sevens, especially for brewery.
First off, I'm offended you called it 11s. It's just Blood Bowl.
Yeah,
but
just
like,
Blood.
Well, sevens feels like an inferior version of the game, I would think. I know it's faster and it's like easier to pick up and play, but I don't think people feel like sevens is competitive. I'll do it for the trophies. If there's a tournament with there's extra trophies, I'll take it.
Here I thought you said you'd do it for the groupies. I'm like, we have groupies?
If there's bubble groupies, like point them out.
That's what we got to aim for next. We need some Blood Bowl groupies.
There you go.
You're going to end up with like dwarf cheerleaders, bearded women, and...
No, seriously, go back to look at World Cup in Lucca, Italy. I think it was Grebo or Hungry Troll had their female models as Blood Bowl star players, and it was jaw-dropping. I mean, they were dead serious with it. It was amazing. And those pictures are out there. Like they were there, like strutting their stuff, like, you know, showing off the brand. It was impressive. Then they did a calendar. What's that?
James sent it to me.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
We need to do a Blood Bowl calendar, sexy calendar sometime. Just all of us, you know, Bruce Bowl style.
Or he's just got
there
some
you go.
erotica to send you.
Bruce Bowl style. There you go.
So
there's a hot button top. It's still to this day, like on, you know, it's a Friday. There they are, the Bruce Bowl guys. And there's always one person. Oh, I'm so offended. Just one time, I just want to say, shut the fuck up. Just one time. But I don't. I just like, calm down.
James, like, what's going on with the Two Drunk Flings podcast? How come you're not on there? Like, what's going on? Did they make more?
They just, it was hard for me to, like, they would be like, all right, we're gonna record at 4 a.m. And I'm like, what now? I'd be like, dude, I can't do 4 a.m. I'm like, how about we do like Saturday 2 in the afternoon? Like, no, dude, that's like at like, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night for us or something. We're drinking. So they just had their own thing. It just wasn't jiving. And then I really wanted to get a Florida Blood Bowl thing. Like Ben and I talked about it, you know, several times of doing like a podcast. And then we had the bright idea to get Carlos involved because he does Beans and Dice and he's the guy who knows. So it was just, it was a great opportunity, you know, to kind of like get their side, like familiarized with us and vice versa. And it was a good time while it lasted, but it didn't seem something that could be ongoing forever.
Not so sustainable. No, the best part, they have a guy on the podcast who's, I think, really bad at Blood Bowl. He
Alan, yeah,
for running his tree to foul a tree man.
I'm sorry,
He's gotten better though, but yeah, he was the guy who passed the ball to his Minotaur.
That's pretty bad. I think he tried to ring out Carla, and he's like, "Oh, that's my Carla."
He has some epic stories though. Alan's hilarious.
Amazing. No, he had. I think he had catch on his Minotaur.
Yep.
And he's like, you score with the Minotaur.
Yep, he threw the ball to the Minotaur. And it was like a long bomb too. He needed a 6, got a 6.
I think we can get a segment like that. Like, you know, that's my Walter, right?
That makes for epic moments. It's hilarious.
I'm sorry, I missed the first little bit. Yeah, I have like the LVO is this weekend. It's, I don't know, like 3,500. It might be more people. Like X-Wing is going to be there. Probably 100 guys playing that. 2,000 people playing 40K. 1,000 people playing Sigmar. I think for Blood Bowl we'll have 100. I think Mark Perry said he expanded the seats, so maybe more than 100, which makes it like to the level of a major, which is pretty fantastic.
Now you're running World Cup rules for that, right?
And he's running World Cup rules. So in
that was a huge draw. Yeah. So
initially, you know, we had his own rules, but using the World Cup rules, the roster composition is going to be the same as we're all planning on. So it's a good practice round.
Sure.
I'm really scared. I picked Dark Elves, and I just did a practice match. Dude, no guard is terrifying. Like, I just felt so weak. So,
yeah, vulnerable.
Yeah, I felt like I was getting my shit kicked in. It was against Norse. So I'm really concerned. I made a Blood Bowl. I made a video for Blood Bowl on all the rosters, and I don't think any of them are good. I don't know what to do. So what do you guys think? Are you guys going to attend?
I've been looking at it too. We were having a hard time with, I think everybody kind of on our team has kind of gone in with like they kind of have something that they want to play. I am all over the place. I have no friggin' clue what I want to do for World Cup. I'm almost even thinking about just doing halflings and just trying to take 2 stars and see what happens. You know, I don't know. Like everything seems crazy. I looked at Dark Elves too. I think it's like 6 skills or something with Dark Elves. You know?
Yeah, I think the way it goes is you have 6 skills, just base skills, and then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10.
Yeah.
And then you subtract a skill for a double, which is now like a secondary skill. The secondary skill can also be a second skill on a player. which really hurts things like vampires and chaos that want to stack skills.
Yeah,
So, it's
I
weird.
saw the stacking.
Any limitations on multiples of the same skill?
That's the thing. That's really important. No. So dwarves can take 6 guard,
Oh, geez.
which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. So look out.
Yeah,
Not much decisions to make there. It's almost like a buffet. Just grab what you want.
I'm really
when you limit the multiplication of or duplication of the same skill across the team, like that's when decisions really hit hard. Like who gets what?
No, so it's true. So the big thing is, I think putting block on everybody is fair and makes sense, but putting block on everybody or a guard is really scary. So like a lot of teams, like I would say like Undead or Necromantic, really want a lot of block, or like even Khorne. But then you allow a bunch of the same skill. Now you're allowing guard to every dwarf player, and then every dwarf is strength 5, and that's terrifying.
Well, I was really not impressed with the rules, all for a lot of different reasons. I think banning like the combination of having sneaky get I think it was like sneaky get and bribes. It's like goblins already didn't have enough problems.
I count on Ben to represent the unrepresented.
Yeah, well,
Gobos.
there was
someone's got to hold it down the fort for them.
They were represented.
Great.
They were angry coaches.
What?
The goblin coaches, yeah, they were angry about. They were vocal.
No, do you know what I think it was? I have a theory. I think there's some guy in Spain who got double fouled by a dwarf death roller, and he was like, "No me gusta," and
no bueno manos.
no bueno manos, and banned it. He's like, "I don't like that death roller." I was like dwarves are taking bribes, like whatever. That's my theory.
It's a weird thing, and then like Slan is in tier 2 or something, and
agree with that too.
All this extra stuff. I'm like,
humans are tier 1.
Yeah, just I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, I'm not going with the expectation to do very well. I'm just gonna go for fun. And
Wait, Ben, what are you thinking?
What do I think? What
are you taking?
Oh, what am I taking? I don't know. And I was saying, like, I almost thought about halflings with just some stars. But now they're saying like certain stars aren't going to be there either. Like you can't probably take Puggy because he's not been tested. He's not going to be around for an entire year before the event. So I don't know. I think that was a mistake too, is that they're not allowing the Amazon stars and they're not allowing.
I think it's Amazon's an over. So we don't get the new stars. Which includes what I really like is what's the 2-headed chaos guy that just came out?
Oh, dribble guy.
Yeah, dribble boy. Not a lot. You also can't get the new Amazon stars, but you can, I think, get the Norse stars, which one guy is guard, which is fantastic. So we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know what to take. I was like looking at Dark Elves just because it's easy. I'm trying to think of like what's going to be easy to play when I'm drunk, and then because I'm probably just going to be drunk the whole time.
No, my own heart. Like that's the plan. Like because I talked to my team, so I'll tell you the truth with my situation, which is, I was put on a team like a squad, where my buddy was like, okay, here, you and some other guys I know are all pretty good. You're on a squad. And we're like, we didn't agree to this. We didn't. What's going on? What do you mean we're on a squad? And I was like, well, I want to be with my buddy, which means our squad's full, so someone has to leave. And what happened was my buddy got invited to the American team, like the number one, they're going to win, and then just got rid of everybody else and threw us into a group. And we're like, that's fine. That's cool. So we called ourselves the Black Sheep Americans. So we have like the sheep dice. We're going to make a bunch of swag. It's going to be fun. We got jerseys. And we're like American flag, but like black. It's fun. It's going to be great. And we're working on this stuff. And we're thinking it's hard to pick just tier 1 teams because I don't think the tier 1 teams are really the best teams. You get one more skill. I'm not stoked about Norse. I think Norse have been underperforming. But Necromantic is pretty good at 7 skills. I think Amazons are really great, and I think they're tier 2. So I think Amazons are going to perform really well. So we'll see. And I don't think at the World Cup roster composition, I don't think stars are going to be that big of a deal. I think it's stronger to not play a star. I'm
I don't
talking
know, 7 skills and I can duplicate. I think I'd want to go lizards.
Dude, lizards also very good. Just put block on everybody. Like that's the problem with lizards. You can't get dirty player. It's hard to get like interesting skill. You can't get kick on lizards, but they're a great team. You know what? I have this theory that lizard men always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Top tier team that never really wins, but always does really well.
Destined
I can't say that I haven't had a good time playing lizards. Each time I've played them in league or otherwise, I've had a good time.
They're just an all-around pretty good team. That speed, you can't really beat that speed. We were having a good discussion about Black Orcs recently because I think there's been one of our guys, Eric, who called in drunk earlier, is going to run Black Orcs at World Cup, and he's trying to prove that they're not too bad. And I believe it. I like Black Orcs, but like I don't know if I like them enough to, dedicate that much to them. I don't know. That mobility is going to kill you. So
Don't do it.
I know.
He's going to do well with that team through elimination of the other team's pieces. With all that grab and the fouling, if you commit to the fouling, I think you could do well.
But you can't take a bribe and sneaky kit.
Yeah, that's the killer. And
I played against Eric in that last tournament, and he didn't need the bribe. One time he got caught, so the dice were on his side, and he wrecked my team. He just kept moving my pieces, getting 4 up on them, fouling the shit out of them, and it was fucking obnoxious after a while.
Like I said, he's determined. I don't know. I appreciate his grit, but it kind of makes me feel a little bit less pressure to pick a really good team to play because
my advice is just play the team you want to play. Just have fun
Did you
with it.
say you're going to be on a squad that has halflings and black orcs? You're going to have a hard time.
We're
I
Florida.
support you, though.
We're Florida.
It'll be
I don't know. I
interesting
can't
to
remember.
see where the meta changes after LVO, like what
Yeah,
it goes
they'll
in
come out
as
with-
and what it comes out.
That black orc halfling team, unstoppable.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope we hear that. That'd be awesome. All the Spanish are like, "What the hell?"
Adios mios.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well, it ain't gonna be vampires that does it. Walter's like, gonna win with vampires. Nah, I don't
He
think so.
keeps, and he was like 2019 edition trying with the vamps. Like he just won't give up on them. You got to give him props for that. He won't give up on them.
I give them props for it. I don't like I know they're more reliable now. I know that they're a little bit better than they were, but they're still rough to play. I am.
You can't stack enough skills. If you could stack more skills and give them like pro dodge, the pro supports them throwing blocks. You don't need block because you can re-roll it.
Yeah.
And then you can dodge out for free. They're harder to knock down. Cool. But you can only do it on one vampire. So you have a bunch of pro vampires, and they just can't do it. Can't do it.
It's a lot of dice rolling.
One of our guys is doing a year of vampires here in Florida, and it'll be interesting.
That's my Walter.
It's just not enough. There aren't enough tournaments that let you stack skills, in my opinion. So it's a lot of ours. You look at a lot of our different listings. It's just like we try to keep skills fairly limited for the most part, and then max of 2 skills on any player at most. And usually if you're using SPP and stuff, you're wasting some SPP on that. So I don't know. Vampires just they need a little something, and I think they're going to need. I think they're going to get whatever they need this year. I think this year is going to be, we were even talking about this, I think, back when we first met, but I think they're going to get ghouls. I think they're going to get some sort of big guy or something. And I don't know. Not a whole lot of changes, just enough.
I heard a theory years ago in Vegas for LVO, which is they get a big guy, vampire lord, and if he kills something, he brings it back as a vampire with their skills.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't know.
Kind of like the undead picking up players from the bodies of the opponents.
Yeah, but instead of getting like a zombie, you
But
get
then
a
souped up.
vampire. Yeah,
I think that would be bookkeeping nightmare. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
But I mean, I'd love to see it. I'd play vampires in League all the time for just that reason.
But that's fun. Like, why not? Right? And you also have to like successfully kill something with that character, which is hard.
Yeah.
So maybe do it once in a league, maybe twice.
Yeah.
Then you end up with probably not a halfling. So you get
Skaven line rat.
I mean, that's more likely than not.
Yeah. Like, oh, cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think vampires need something. I'd like to see maybe like they get a blood bag or something, like a guy that they just kick around and eat, heavily armored, slow guy. We've been doing a lot of like team events where you can trade players and stuff. And so there's always like a little bit of me that wants to do something like that, where it's like, let's trade an orc onto a team and then just have it be the token guy that gets the shit kicked out of him by all the vampires. Because they'll never break armor.
It's not a bad idea, because the more I play against Walter and his vampires, the more I realize it's a game of attrition. That as I get into the second half and his thralls are all off the pitch and out of the way, it's just looking for the animal savagery to fail. That's it, and that's when this game really starts to fall apart.
You assault the food.
Yes, don't go after the vampire. Take away their food supply.
That's exactly right.
They can beat up each other though now, which is nice.
Good for them. That's part of it.
I think I'm still winning on that end.
You are, and it's not as. I don't know. It went from a 1-up or a 2-up to now like a 4-up, basically. Because you're not gonna be able to blitz every time.
It's hard. It's
a lot harder, in my opinion.
You have to also understand that the pro was improved from a 4+ to a 3+.
Yep.
So pro and vampire is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, not too horrible.
Yeah. You want to give them all pro and
I talked to a guy at a tournament. I was at Rocky Mountain Rampage in Utah, and I talked to a guy about vampires, and my opinion was put pro and block on a vampire. And he said, no, not block, dodge. And I was like, well, dodge is weaker than block.
They're already 2-up to begin with, right?
But it's not about dodging. It's about being harder to knock down.
Oh,
Because
for the defensive side.
Throwing a block on somebody, like linemen, don't have block. So dodge makes them stand up. They're sturdier. They dodge for free because they have the built-in reroll dodge. And then if you need to block and you roll both down, you have pro, and you can use pro for that. So I was like, actually, in that situation, vampires with pro dodge makes sense over pro block. If that don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think they're interesting. I definitely think they're interesting. It's just hard to, it's by the time you pick up 4 or 5 skills, your opponent has picked up 4 or 5 skills, and now, you're getting the crap beat out of you again. I like chaos. I feel like you're close to that vampire feeling with chaos. You run your 4 chaos warriors. Your beastmen are whatever, and then just pretend they have a higher AG than they do and try to make all those dodge rolls.
But they really don't come with a lot of skills right off the bat.
No. But I mean, neither do vampires, except for their wonderful hypno gaze. But
And that low agility.
Yeah.
That strong agility.
Yeah. I liked Old Bretonians a lot. I'm kind of sad to see it reduced to only 2 blitzers, because I think Nobles could be a really good team if they just let them have the 4 blitzers instead of the ogre or whatever. And the throwers are garbage, but I don't know.
All right.
We'll see.
We've gotten almost 2.5 hours of show tonight for the folks. We still got some stragglers sticking around, at least 6 viewers watching.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe they actually stuck around this whole time for us. And thank you to our 6 viewers. Ben, close us out. Talk to the folks at home about what's going on and where they can find out more about what we got going on.
Yeah. I wish I was cracking up in one of those.
Sorry, we are bad influences for you, Benny K.
I know. No, we're gonna have a great time this year. The next things that I look forward to seeing everybody who's gonna come out to the Giant thing in a week or two, and then of course then after that it's the Savannah Bowl that I've been looking forward to for a while. I just love team events, and I don't know. There's something about team events just brings out the best in everybody and gets you a little more competitive, and you feel like you're part of something. And then, just, it's going to be an interesting year. There's a lot of really high. I feel bad because it's like there's some things that are definitely going to be competing for my the zine. Yay!
The zine coming out.
And the zine, we'll have a new issue then.
Did he autograph it for you?
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't there.
You should write something for us or put something in there. Or,
sure, man.
Maybe a top 10 Taco Bell orders, right?
Yeah.
Scan a Taco Bell receipt, and stick it in there.
I read this on the airplane back from I don't know where. It was great. I love it, dude. I'm a big zine fan. I
think it's fun. It's fun.
Fantastic work.
Thank you. I like doing that. I like having some fun with it. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to bed soon. It's been a crazy week. Looking forward to everybody. Do write in to the blog or to write into the zine. We'll put it in there. We look forward to our next outing on the call-in show. I always like the call-in shows. They're a lot of fun. Obviously, makes it a little easier. Fun to have some special guests as we have today. Just a little extra commentary, extra little fun. And I don't know. That's all I got. James, you got anything?
For the Safari Bowl, we're going to make an announcement at the end when that whole thing's said and done in regards to 2024 and where the next destination Blood Bowl is going to be. It's going to be a very satisfying announcement. Very, very much looking forward to it.
Cool. Suspense.
And if you're into anything board gaming, be sure to subscribe. Beans and Dice is the channel. We just take phone calls every Thursday night and talk about board games. And then once a month, my Blood Bowl brethren join me, and we get to talk Blood Bowl and take phone calls, which is crazy.
Okay, Carlos, thank you for hosting me. Ben, thanks for inviting me. James, thanks for being just the most handsome person I've ever seen.
I'll take it.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. We will catch y'all on the next one. Night, everybody.
Good night.
Happy weekend.